Welcome to the CatFiveBoys podcast. I am your host, Matt, and I'm here with my co-host, Maddie.
Hey everybody, hope everyone's doing well.
And we have a very special guest, Miss Jenny. Say hi, Jenny.
Hi
Woohoo!
guys, hope you guys are having a good night.
For the
Yeah,
second
boy.
for the second time in a row, she was here last episode. She's here this episode. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed her last episode. I think she did a very good job for her first time on like some sort of show mic type thing. She did a very good job, in my opinion, and I hope you guys thought the same thing. She's back here for the second time in a row. The very first female guest, double feature. Um, Welcome back,
Woo.
Jenny. We're gonna get through a couple of announcements, or I suppose pre-show announcements, I suppose, before we get started with the full show. First and foremost, disclaimer: the views expressed on the show by the individual hosts or guests do not necessarily reflect the views of the show. Further disclaimer: the topics we speak on or touch on the show sometimes are sensitive, sometimes are not very politically correct or super lighthearted. So if that's not your thing, that's not your cup of tea, it's probably not the show for you. We have clips. If you guys are interested in seeing the best bits of the shows, can't catch the full shows, make sure to check out the clips accounts we have. We have Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts. Here on YouTube, we post clips as well. They're all at Cat5Boys. So if you guys want to go check those out, you want to get the best bits of each episode, make sure to check out the clips accounts. Anybody want to be on the show as a guest? You want to come on, debate some topics? If you have any disagreements with me, Maddie, George, something you heard on the show, any other guests that come on as well, we would love to have you on. If you want to just talk about something cool that's going on in your life, we would love to have you on. Make sure to send us a DM on Instagram at Cat5Boys. Let us know that you're interested in being on the show, and we'll coordinate with you, and we'll get that started. Make sure to like, comment, follow, subscribe on YouTube. Follow on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. Post, or rather comment on these episodes. Any ideas you have, any criticisms, any um, you know opinions, I suppose, and we'll touch on it on the next episode. We promise. We'll get to as
Yeah,
many comments as we can. Maddie, you had something to say, buddy?
yeah, and any thoughts or topics you guys would like us to discuss, or hey, since most of the episodes that we have, we start with Reddit tags. If you guys maybe have any type of situation, you could remain anonymous, give us situations, and maybe we could give you your personal advice since you're a listener.
Yeah, that's actually a good point that I always forget to mention on the show, or actually that I didn't even think to mention. But if anybody has any sort of stories or cool, entertaining stories, or maybe some embarrassing shit or something that you would like for us to speak on when we're doing the Reddit segment, we will also be able to choose one of those and touch on them on the show as well and speak about them. Give our opinion on those experiences like we do with the regular Reddit threads. Um, and yeah, we do have one comment to speak on today as well, which I'm going to save that for again further on in this episode. But yeah, if you guys have any comments or whatever the case may be, leave them in the comments on YouTube, Spotify, whatever you want, even the shorts as well, and we'll touch on them in the following episode. We'd love to speak on comments. We'll touch on as many as we possibly can. Without further ado, or sorry, before without further ado, I always forget to do this. We post every Wednesdays and Fridays, so be aware. If you're on YouTube, subscribe, turn on the post notifications, turn on the bell so that you can be notified every Wednesdays and Fridays when we drop a new video. We just dropped on Wednesday on Wednesday this week. So yesterday we dropped the video or the podcast with Jenny, the first one that we did with Jenny. This is the second one. I thought it was an awesome show. I thought it was entertaining, and hopefully you guys did too. And now, without further ado, let's get into the show. Maddie, how's your day been? How has your life been ever since the last show we did with Jenny? How's it been going?
Everything has been well, man. I cannot complain. Work has been going good. I celebrated my friend's birthday. It was nice for all of us to get together after a while and see each other. And everything has been going beautifully after since then. I cannot complain.
That's beautiful, buddy. That's beautiful. Getting to spend time with the friends and everything like that. It's phenomenal. Jenny, what about you? How has your time been since the last show? And how do you feel being back on?
It's been good, honestly. I'm actually really excited to be on. Like, honestly, it's pretty freaking fun. I'm a little less nervous this time since like I'm already, aware of what to expect, but no, yeah. Other than that, I mean, we had a group outing yesterday with some coworkers to Dave and Buster's, and I was part of a goddamn human crane machine. So yeah,
You did the human crane machine?
yeah, we had a friend pay for it who desperately wanted me to get on, and I hated every single second of it. I
That's
got an
actually
inflatable banana.
I've always because I've been to that Dave and Buster's so many times. That's actually crazy. I feel like that shit's so uncomfortable. They put like a harness on you and shit.
Yeah, it's freaking tight. Like when they tighten that crap up, it's like wow.
That shit
But
is
it's just I don't know, like I don't like being put on the spot like that, and people are watching. I'm over here panicking. I'm a few drinks in, and I'm like, oh, this sobered me up way too quick.
yeah, that shit always looks so uncomfortable. But but that's cool. That's cool that you had a nice little outing with the coworkers and everything. Went to Dave and Buster's. That's awesome. Um,
Yep.
very excited to have you on for the second time as well. I thought it was a very good show. I thought you did a very good job on your first time. This second time should be more. You should be more in. You should be more comfortable with it, I suppose. This time, as you just said, it's with experience. Like I told you that when we were talking about doing the episode. It's just the more you do it, the more you get into the rhythm of it, and it just kind of all starts to feel a little natural.
Yeah, I realized that as I listened back to the episode, I was listening it today actually. In the beginning, I'm like, oh, this is so like cringe. This is so embarrassing. And then the more the episode got further in, I was like, oh, okay, I kind of settled in, and it just kind of felt like a phone call instead. Like you were right about that part.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I really like about it is like the conversation aspect is it's just you get very comfortable with it and it's like talking to friends and it's like a chill like little thing, you just talk to people about different things and different topics and sometimes it gets contentious which makes it entertaining and stuff, but it definitely is like being on a phone call. And then hopefully in the future if we hope to God expand this show, we make it into an in-person show, have like a little studio and everything. It'll be like hanging out with friends instead of being on a call with them. But just creating that little vibe of like person to person conversations. It feels
Yeah, to give
natural.
the show real personality. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know if you
I
guys
actually
watch.
love that idea.
Yeah, no, that's like the end goal, or not the end goal, but it's one of the goals is to make this show, kind of in person and put it in a studio setting and everything like that, and make it so that we have more of like a
Hmm.
person to person connection with the audience as well, because they know what we sound like, but they don't really know what we look like at all. Uh, I mean, me, I guess I do
True.
have my face on the profile picture of my main Instagram account, but it's not really that. You know what I mean? It's just a little different when you're able to see somebody talking and doing mannerisms and stuff like that. But that's definitely one of the goals is to make this show like a not a live but like in person show, in a studio and everything, have people come on and they're there in person and stuff like that. I think it would definitely expand the show in a way that doing it over Discord or over Zoom couldn't do. But yeah, and we would 100% love to
Because
have
I've
you
seen
on and
clips of
stuff.
other podcasts, like, and it's funny.
Oh, I mean, that's like how they do it for the most part. I mean, I watch a lot of podcasts for them. I mean, for the most part, they do it on um, in person in like a studio and stuff. So, I think that's kind of the way.
Hmm.
That's kind of the way. But that's definitely one of the goals for this show. But but yeah, and then Jenny being, am I correct to say I'm not gonna say a fan, but definitely somebody who avidly listens to the show and everything like that. Someone you've listened since the beginning, since like the first episode, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like she's been listening since
I
the
have
first
been on to
episode.
the first episode. I listened to everything.
Yeah, she like I
Hmm.
said, she's been listening since the first episode and everything like that. You know, she wanted to be on. She let us know she wanted to be on and everything like that. We got her on and we had a phenomenal show. So it just kind of goes to show if anybody has any interest in being on the show, even if you're kind of like you feel like you're gonna be shy or you feel like you're gonna be a little bit kind of out of your water, out of your depth. Just come on the show. We'll have a nice conversation. It'll be like talking to friends, and you'll see how much more natural it turns out to be. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into the Reddit. Today we're going through dating advice. So we're gonna start with escort stole my date, and
Oh
it
my
is
god.
a long one, but might as well start right now. Anyways, I, 31 female, recently moved back to my hometown, got an apartment, happened to be next door to someone I knew superficially, for a long time. 34 male, mutual friends, but we never talked. Although we were friends on Facebook for many years. A few months ago, I also ran into another old friend from 15 plus years ago who I last knew of her working as a stripper slash escort in Las Vegas, but who also moved back to the area recently. 33 female. I ran into her as she was walking into my neighbor's apartment. I knew they were also friends from back in the day, and my neighbor is kind of like the dude from Pineapple Express if he was in finance, so it wasn't weird to me. I had been in contact with them both pretty regularly. The escort friend told me that my neighbor paid her for sex, but only after I told her that he and I were talking and hanging out, and prior to that, she was sort of making it seem like he was trying to date her, but she was rejecting him. So I was unsure if she was just making it up because she was jealous, and if he really did that, I would be shocked. So the type of person I am, I just ask him. He said absolutely not. He said he was going to stop hanging with her because she said that. It changed my opinion on my friend. She would make that up. I felt he was the more trustworthy one, based on her past and history of dishonesty, and how odd it was to me that someone like him would need slash want to engage in risky sexual behavior. I love my friend, but the men she serves are not top tier type of guys. Fast forward, neighbor guy and I getting closer and closer, talking every day, good morning and good night text, two concerts together, got together multiple times and hung out one to one, nicknames, inside jokes, but he never made a move on me at all. No hugs, not even a high five. After this going on for a couple of months, flirting was getting a bit more obvious. I thought we were moving towards more than friends. Number one, best friends on Snapchat for 8 weeks straight. Went to the gym together. He paid for dinner, and he finally held my hand a bit. Doing great, just a slow pace. Perfect for me since I am only recently single and very busy and working on my fitness goals. Meanwhile, I stay in contact with my escort friend. She is sleeping with 4 to 6 guys per week, selling pics, drinking every day. I try to be supportive, things going okay. Decline if invites to go out with her and drink, but keep talking on Snapchat periodically. She called me and asked if I wanted to hang out 2 Saturdays ago. I said I couldn't because neighbor guy and I were on our way to an out of town concert. She seemed cool about it. This past weekend got more flirty with neighbor, though through innuendo I was under the impression that we were going to hang out on Sunday when I got off work and discussed the nature of our relationship potentially without clothes on. I got
Damn.
back into town late Saturday, got my normal goodnight message from my neighbor. Not long after, get a call from my escort friend. She says she wants to go out. I told her I was too tired, but she said she had something to show me that was really important. So I said okay, and she came by and showed me her messages with my neighbor where he asked her if she was still quote unquote working, and they made plans to hook up on Sunday. I suppose while I was at work, or maybe instead of plans with him, unknown. I was absolutely devastated by this. I thanked her for telling me, and she said she had to tell me because she knew how I felt about the guy and how she wanted to save me from getting my heart broken. So naturally, I now feel stupid and guilty for not believing her the first time and dumping a ton of energy and time into getting to know this dude. Let me just fucking fast forward this shit. I confronted him and he told me, he said he didn't do anything wrong. He said he was just seeing how it would play out, quote unquote, and offered me no comfort, explanation, apology. He sort of just kept babbling about other stuff and making me feel bad for being up all night crying, like I was totally being crazy and unreasonable. He said it was a red flag that I had bad sleep hygiene. That's basically all the feedback I got. Advice needed. How soon do you have the what are we going to sorry. How soon do you have the what are we conversation to avoid major misunderstandings? 3 months I thought was too soon, but I am hurting more than if I wouldn't ended at 1 month, for example. Fucking hell, that was super long. I was trying to fast forward. I apologize. Anyways, thoughts?
Oh,
All right, bet I'll give my thoughts. I actually had this conversation with one of our coworkers at work, and it's kind of the conversation of like talking stage, like that type of shit. How long should a talking stage last, and all that type of shit. To me personally, and I think just going straight to the advice needed, right? So the question at hand: how soon do you have the what are we conversation to avoid major misunderstandings? Now it's different if you're like on like a dating app and you're meeting somebody on a dating app and you guys are talking and shit like that. It's different that than, you know, like you guys are friends for a while and whatnot, and it kind of just gets to a point. I think if you're talking to a guy and you guys are talking, it's like you guys are in that talking stage or whatever the case, quote unquote, where you guys are flirting with each other and whatnot. I'll tell you what, you got to start going on dates with each other if that's what you're looking to go to. If that's your intention from the jump, you go, hey, listen, my intentions, I'm looking, I think, I'm starting to feel the relationship vibes from me and you, and I want to see where this goes. I want to take it further and see if we can get into a real relationship, get into a couple of dates. Once you start getting on those dates and stuff like that, you should already know whether or not this dude is good for you. The dude should already know whether or not you're good for him. At that point, you lay it down. What are we? If he hasn't asked you already, I think the guy should ask. Guys who don't really ask and wait for the girl to kind of make the move, kind of pussy shit, but whatever. I don't know. To me personally, that's what it. I don't think a talking stage, quote unquote, should last more than a month. If it's lasting more than a month, where you're seeing the person consistently, you're probably a fuck buddy, or like I don't know. You're probably just not being taken seriously. To be honest, it's probably just like just a little fun thing on the side. But
Yeah,
but yeah, Maddie, you have any thoughts on this?
I agree with what you said. I think a guy, I think within a month, bro, because you should already know what you like, dislike, things like that, and you should obviously be the man and be like, hey, we've been talking for a while. We've gone out a couple of times. I like the vibe. I like you. This and that. What are we? Do you want to keep going, or do you want to just call it quits or whatever? So I think that's what should be done. And yeah.
Jenny, what do you think? What do you think about the whole talking stage and how long should it last and all that type of stuff?
I think a month would be that bad, honestly. Because if you're gonna keep dragging it out more, then keep it a talking stage for that long, then I feel like you're just wasting each other's time at that point. I mean, depending on what the end goal is, if you're trying to make something serious out of it, to keep prolonging the talking stage, you're just gonna end up wasting on what you guys want. So I think a month would be good to test out the waters, honestly.
I feel like a good alternative question to ask as well is how many dates do you think it would take? Like, you guys are going, and for me personally, I think hanging out at each other's houses, watching some Netflix or something, having a dinner at the house where you cook or whatever the case, or even going out to Cheesecake Factory or going to the park,
Ooh.
all these different things where you plan a specific day to hang out with the other person are dates, in my opinion. So, how many dates do you think it would take normally where you're like, yeah, you should probably know by now, and have that conversation by now? Jenny,
I
what do you
think
think?
for
I'm
me, it
sorry.
depends if you know the person prior. Like, let's say if the person's a stranger, I feel like maybe a little bit more dates would have to happen. But if you already know the person prior, like it's maybe a friend from school or somebody you just already know, I don't think it should be that many dates.
Yeah, I would say for the most part, like I suppose talking about this type of topic, it would probably entail like they just met, or at the very least they're like new to each other. I suppose they haven't known each other for like they haven't been friends previously and stuff like that. So considering that, you'd probably say what, like 4 dates maybe.
Maybe a good 4 to 5. Yeah.
I think, to be honest with you, I'd probably agree with that. I think, oh, like if you go on a date at least once a week, you see each other on like a Saturday every week or something like that. By the end of the month, you should know. You should know. What about you, Maddie? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree as well. Like 4 dates should be the optimum amount of time before you're already like, hey, you've already gone out these many times, you already understand the person, the vibe, likes, dislikes, and things like that. So I think, 4 dates is enough within a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah, I was even telling this to the person I was having that little discussion with at work. It's like, for me personally, if you're going on dates on, let's just say, a dating app, for example, you're going on a dating app. Think about it this way: the first time you ever speak to this person is over messages. So first and foremost, you have to make sure that you have I suppose, a superficial attraction to one another. I think the smartest way to go about this, and this is to anybody who's listening to us who has, who's going on dating apps right now, you're planning on going on dating apps, you want to know the best way to do it. In my opinion, you go on a dating app, you match with somebody, the first thing you see is their face. You get a little bio, whatever the case, but that doesn't really tell you much about the person. It kind of just tells you what they want you to know. But the face is the first thing you get. You already know you're attracted to this person physically. Um, get in the DMs and talk to them, like make a little joke or something. If they fuck with you and your humor and whatnot, move it forward. Go on a call. That's like the essential thing. Get on a call, preferably FaceTime. Speak to them. See if you guys are a little compatible. Make them laugh and shit like that. At the end of that, schedule a date. Go on a date with this person physically. The first date should be getting to know each other, having fun, making sure you guys are comfortable with each other and whatnot, doing that type of shit. Second date, y'all need to start talking about like serious shit. Like I'm not talking about like super serious and shit like that, but like just kind of talk about each other's values. Like for example, I'm a Catholic. If I go on a date with a girl, I'm gonna make sure that she's Catholic, or at the very least that she's open to it and whatnot. I'm gonna make sure there's that like that's known. Because that's very important to me in my life. And whatever's important to you in your life, maybe you're a single mom, you have kids or whatever. Maybe you're I don't know, maybe you travel a lot for work and you have to be, out a lot and shit like that. Shit like that. Like things that are very important to you and stuff, make those things known. Third date, hanging out more, getting to know each other more and stuff like that, ironing those things out. By the third date, I feel like you should probably know this girl, I vibe with her really well, we click very well and everything like that. I think, you know, she could be the one type shit. At least me personally, but that's just kind of I don't know. That's kind of the way I see it, or whatever the case. You guys think I'm off base here, or is it more like
No, I agree, bro. You need to iron out the details and you need to find the common ground. Otherwise, what's the point of trying to be in a relationship, you know?
that's what I'm saying. At least that's my thought process behind it.
No, I agree. You wanna, that's what it was. You wanna pretty much figure out the deal breakers right then and there because you don't want to waste their time and you don't want your time wasted. So finding out the deal breakers about each other and then yeah, you move on from that.
Yeah, no, it's like I want to have kids. That's like a thing in my life that I want, and that's kind of like a deal breaker. If the girl doesn't want to have kids and she's not interested in that at all, I feel like that's something you should know. Hopefully at date one, but like date two, you should know that. You should ask those questions. I want to have kids. Do you want to be married? I want to be married. Okay. Do you, are you like religious? Okay, cool. All those type of things that are super important. You should be knowing that stuff by date two. But yeah, I guess to kind of speak on her actual situation or whatever. I don't even know if you guys heard because that was a long ass fucking tangent.
Book,
That was
yes.
a fucking long ass post. I don't even know why I read all that, but to me personally, she was kind of just a friends with benefits. That guy was just he was trying to see if he could get the cake and eat it too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. He doesn't value
Yep.
her as a good woman for him. He just sees her as a quick, nut, pretty much. You know.
Yeah, no, I don't know. That's definitely the way I saw it as well. You got the escort chick, so obviously she's gonna fuck you if you pay her, and then you got the neighbor girl who seems to be into you. Shit, I mean, that boy knew what he was doing, and the girl didn't really stand on business. But that's all right. Jenny, you have any thoughts on this?
I think I pretty much agree with Maddie on that one. I just feel like maybe she was into it, but he was just trying to see who he can get.
I agree. I think he was just trying to get his dick wet at the end of the day. But we'll move on
Yeah,
Yeah.
to
I
we'll,
agree.
we'll move on to the next post because this one. Well, actually, you know what? Let's give the answer. Let's give an answer for her advice that's needed. How soon do you have the "what are we" conversation to avoid major misunderstandings? Um, we'll start with Jenny on this. Like I know we talked about it. Just a straight answer for this one.
I'd say maybe a month, a good month.
Maddie, what about you?
Uh, third or fourth date.
I would definitely agree. Third or fourth date, I would say.
Because at
If
that point you're not there to waste money or time. Like I said, the point is your interests, your likes, dislikes, future plans, common grounds, morality, and then you go on from there. You move forward.
I agree. I agree. I think, um, I feel like the actual question, how soon do you have the "what are we" conversation? the what are we conversation specifically should come 5 to 6 dates in. If you're 5 to 6 dates in and the dude still hasn't asked you to be his girlfriend, yeah, you got to figure out what are you for sure. But definitely I think you should know, I think he should be the one, traditionally speaking, I think he should be the one to ask you to be his girlfriend. That's how you establish that exclusivity. Um, but that should be happening 4 to 3 dates in. And then if it's 5 to 6 dates in and you still haven't gotten that exclusivity, like, will you be my girlfriend? That's when you should be asking that question. But yes, move on to the next post. All right, this one is a lot smaller, which I love to see. I love to see the small ones, okay? Listen, big isn't always better, okay? That's all I'm going to say. Anyways, how bad is it to wear a Rolex on the date? So, I, 26 female, got a Rolex as a graduation present from my cousin, 44 male, who I am very close with. I wear it almost every normal work day. The only time I don't wear it is when I am doing exercise or any physical activity. Anyway, now a few times I've gotten quite nasty comments from men about it, insinuating that I've had a man pay for it, which I literally have, but that's my cousin. It was a present, nothing weird happening here. In my opinion, I've gotten comments like, "You don't look like a girl who wears a Rolex," and one guy even called me too dusty for a Rolex. What the fuck? Is
Oh
this
shit.
weird? Should I stop wearing it, or does it perhaps work as a good asshole filter? Miss Jenny, what do you think? Let's start with you. What are your thoughts on this? Just initial thoughts.
Wait, hold up. There's Rolex for women.
It's a Rolex.
Yeah, it's a
I'm not gonna lie, I don't.
you got watches, you got women watches. I think, pretty sure.
No, but
I
I
mean,
actually thought
aren't
Rolex was
watches
for that for
like
men.
unisex,
I'm not gonna
bro?
lie to you.
No, no, I think they got women like female watches. I think they got female. They look pretty too. I'm not gonna lie. I've seen a couple of
Yeah,
them. They
that's
look
what I'm
very nice.
asking.
Yeah, they look pretty nice.
Cause like the watches for men are more like like chunkier, and then for us it's more like I guess more feminine. That's why I was like, I know Rolex did watches for women.
Yeah, they do. I mean, like I said, I've seen a couple of them. Look pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie. I would probably buy one if I had the money. I don't know who her cousin is, but boy must be boy must be pretty rich.
Are they first cousins or second cousins?
Honestly, oh damn.
I mean, I think if you're first cousins,
I
I
don't
think
think
it
there's
works.
anything wrong with her even wearing a watch.
You think it's like an asshole filter though, like she said?
Nah, I don't think so.
Not really, unless she's like showing it off constantly everywhere she goes, like on purpose. But if she's just wearing a watch just to wear, I don't think there's an issue with it at all.
That's like her daily wear too. Is like, damn, that's your daily wear. Like,
I don't know about you, but I ain't gonna be wearing $10,000 on my fucking wrist.
that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, I got a $10,000 watch, bro. That shit, that motherfucker's, bro. I work like close to minimum wage, a little bit more than minimum wage, bro. I'm putting that shit in a glass cabinet, bro. But yeah, no, I mean, what about you, Maddie? You have any thoughts on this? What do you think?
I don't think it's a problem. Uh, for her to wear the Rolex. I mean, it's a gift from her family. She likes it. It's a beautiful watch, you know. If I got something nice like that, you know, like if, my cousin got me top of the line Ray-Ban glasses, I'm wearing them, or they give me the nice Jordans or the nice polo sweater that, that's expensive, and it's like, damn, that's the nice shit. I'd wear it too, but you know, at the same time, you know, why do you want to flex that you have a Rolex? You know?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little different between guys and girls. I think the whole idea here that I would kind of want to kind of dive into a little bit is like when it comes to dating, a man is usually the one who has to flex his like his money and shit like that. So I feel like it's more normal for a man to like wear flashy clothes or like super nice shoes, super nice jewelry and shit like that. Um, to kind of show off to the women. Whereas for women, it seems to me it's more feminine for them to wear like nice, like for them to look good. I suppose it's like a hot girl versus like a guy who looks like he has status or money and stuff like that. It's just different things that we're attracted to. So I feel like when a guy looks at a girl who has a Rolex, a lot of the time it's like she just looks like more masculine. I don't know how to explain it. It's more like it's like women who work and they're very like workaholic. They're very independent in that way. They're very, I'm I'm about my bag or whatever. I don't know. That's that type of woman and shit like that seems to me to be the type of woman to wear a watch like that. And I think most men kind of think the same thing.
Yeah,
You gotta,
100%. Like she's the CEO of a radio station, or she's the VP of a very big business. But at the same time, if a man is giving you shit for wearing a Rolex, number one, he's just upset that he can't afford one with his broke ass. And two, what kind of man would genuinely get upset that he sees a woman wearing a Rolex? Like, bro, what opportunities do you have that she did? So don't act like a little bitch about it. Just go grind,
well, I mean,
go grind for that watch,
women
bro.
can make money off of their bodies that men usually cannot do. So, I mean, she does kind of have more opportunities than he does, which is probably what that guy's talking about. The guy who was like, "Oh, you had a man pay for it." It's like he's probably talking about like, "Oh, you probably like had a man like some sugar daddy, or you sold your nudes on OnlyFans or some shit." I feel like that's probably where he's getting at. I understand it though, considering the society we live in today. Uh, but I don't know. I mean, I think just simply her having a Rolex on, I mean, it's whatever. It's a fucking watch. I mean, me personally, I wouldn't give a shit about it. But
Yeah, I mean, like I don't care decently. I don't give a shit. She has a Rolex or a fucking $10 G-Shock. I don't give a shit.
I remember when G-Shocks used to be the thing, bro.
Nah, bro, that was back in the day. It wasn't that a flashback.
Nah, that was the Rolex of the elementary school days, bro. You had a fucking G-Shock as an elementary school kid, bro. You were,
You were the coolest kid in school,
yeah, bro.
especially with the big fat white one.
Yeah, bro. That shit was those days. Jenny, you have any thoughts on this? Any further thoughts on this?
I think that's it. It was a very basic one.
It was very short and everything like that. So, to her questions, is it weird? Should she stop wearing it, or perhaps is it a good asshole filter? What do you guys think?
I think it's a good asshole filter
She should
because
just
if she
keep
was
wearing
having
it.
those guys, excuse me, I'm about to sneeze.
Bless you, buddy.
Pineapple, pineapple, pineapple,
Excuse me, thank you so
pineapple,
much.
pineapple.
I think it's good if it's an asshole filter. That way, if she's single and this and that, she doesn't have to be surrounding herself with guys that are going to be jealous of her success when they have the same ability, you know?
Phenomenal, phenomenal. Um, and then Jenny, I heard you say while Maddie was talking that you think she should wear it, like it's fine.
Yeah, she just keep wearing it. Like I don't think there's an issue. Whoever has an issue with it, then they're probably the issue themselves.
I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I'd probably try to fucking steal it from her. To be honest, I'd probably be like, "Damn, you're wearing a Rolex. Let me check that shit out," and then just take it from her and run away. What is she gonna do? Try to tackle me? Sorry. Anyways, let's get on to the third one. The third Reddit post. Am I broken up with? This one's also fairly short, but I, 36 male, have been dating a 34 female on and off for the last 8 months in New York City. We've had some minor fights here and there, but nothing super ugly. When we were together, we were very close. In January, she found out that her father's cancer had gone to stage 4. I was trying to be supportive and tried to help out however I could. Last time I met her, 17th of January, she said I am the only one she could talk with about her dad. I lost my father at the same age, and she even had our pictures as her lock screen. We didn't have a fight or anything, but after the 23rd of January, I got ghosted, and then her father unfortunately passed away on the 30th. She didn't tell me about her father's death. I only found out indirectly when I found his obituary online. What the fuck? You're looking for that shit? Last Sunday, 23rd of February, after a month of ghosting, she blocked me and told me that she doesn't want to talk to me. She didn't give me a reason why. I did call, text her a few times in between, but only once every few days because I was worried. I am struggling to make sense of it because I was always very good to her. TLDR, so in combination of the 1 month plus ghosting, blocking, and the fact that she doesn't want to talk to me, is it safe to assume that I am broken up with? Initial thoughts, Mr. Matty. Initial thoughts. What are your thoughts on this one, buddy?
I don't think that necessarily thinks that you're broken up with, because I've known plenty of people, especially girls, who go through that type of situation or something, emotionally traumatic, and they just don't talk to anybody because obviously they're dealing with that type of situation and everything. So I don't think that just means that he's broken up with. It just means that she doesn't want to talk right now. That she needs to, uh what's the word, like she needs to rebuild herself and and just have the ability to be able to come back to her true self and mental state and everything. That way she can, fully give you what the relationship's about.
Jenny, any thoughts?
It's weird because okay, I get maybe why she would ghost him because going through the whole loss. Because I mean, I'm going through something similar, but I don't think enough to completely ghost him and just block him. But I don't want to talk to you anymore because I don't just block people and be like, I don't want to talk to anybody. I mean, I'm still talking to people, but I don't know. I feel like it's complicated. I feel like maybe she did, but since it's been on and off, I don't know if maybe it's the fact that she might pick him up or drop him whenever she needs or wants. But due to the loss of her father, I don't know if it's probably because she does need to rebuild herself. But I feel like maybe she should have communicated with him, like, hey, I need some time, some space. Like, I kind of want to be alone. But if she just randomly ghosted him and blocked him and I don't want to talk to you no more, I don't know. I feel like maybe it is broken up, honestly, without any communication.
I would agree with you. That dude probably is broken up with. I feel like the first thing that came to my mind when I heard this story is that there was probably a guy who was in the friend zone who was like giving her comfort and telling her, "Hey, it's gonna be okay. It's fine and whatnot." Some guy who lives close to her, probably, because it's long distance with these guys. But my voice just cracked there. It's fine. We move on. Anyways, like I feel like there was probably some dude there who was like close to her in her town and whatnot, and was giving her that comfort and telling her that she was, everything's gonna be okay, and having a shoulder to cry on. And then one day, when she was feeling extra vulnerable, he probably piped, and yeah, that's probably why she ghosted you, because she didn't have the guts to tell you to your face that she piped her best friend or whatever. That was my initial thoughts. Although we don't have any mention of a best friend or any sort of guy friend, so I can only speculate. But I would still think that that guy is broken up with, like, and I don't think that's even healthy behavior. I understand that she's never like talking to this guy, like, or that like they've never really had a bad fight. But if she has like a bad thing happen to her like that, it is serious. But she's like 34. It's like, to a certain degree, like, just to up and vanish, I suppose, it's it's not a good sign for the future. You know what I mean? Like, that would, for me, would probably, like, even if she did come back after like a month after telling me like, oh, I don't want to speak to you anymore. To be honest with you, I would already be clocked out myself, because I'd be like, dude, if you're gonna be like this because your parents died, which, again, understandable why you would be grieving, but to just up and vanish, it's like, that's kind of indicative of how shit might go south in the future, and I'm just not for that. You know what I mean? If your method of grieving is just to leave, then I don't know. I don't think that's gonna be a healthy. Uh, I don't think that's gonna be a healthy thing to bring to a relationship, in my opinion.
I can agree, because it is a very serious situation. But at the same time, I disagree because then again, not everybody was raised, or not everybody has the best sense of dealing with their issues. Some people go ghost, some people get violent, some people get depressed, some people, just go turn to other like resorts. If I said that, I don't think I said that right. Resort to other things. That's what it is. But I now thinking about it, I mean, it could be that she broke up with him, but at the same time, it could just be that she's not talking to anybody and that she's just going through it real bad.
I mean, she blocked the dude.
Oh, she blocked him.
She blocked him, and then she told him that she doesn't want to talk to him, and then she didn't even give him a reason why. So I mean, I understand the sentiment of like, oh, everybody grieves in their own way, and people grieve differently and stuff like that. I get that, and I understand that people have different ways of going through things. But I would probably, and I think you would agree. I think probably both of you would agree that there are bad and there are good ways to grieve. Like, there are certain ways that are unhealthy grief, um, methods, I suppose, and then there are some ways that are, fine ways to grieve. You know what I mean? And I think the same way that like going home and beating your wife is probably not a good way to grieve the death of your father or something. As a man, I don't think it'd probably be a good idea for a woman to grieve by just up and leaving and kind of just abandoning your current relationship. I don't think that's. I would say that's probably
Yeah,
a
up and
negative way
leaving is
to grieve like that.
yeah, 100%. You don't just get up and leave because yes, I understand that you have to deal with your stuff, but then again, you have partner, you have your person. You can't just get up and leave. It's not right.
Yeah, that would be my sentiment, I suppose. But so to me personally, I would say that he's broken up with. Jenny, what do you think? You think this guy's broken up with, or not really?
Jen? Well,
Maddie.
sorry guys, we're probably having some technical
Yeah, this
difficulties.
might be some technical. She might be disconnecting or something right now. But Maddie, what about you, buddy? You think that he's broken up with probably after hearing all that?
I mean, like I said, I don't want to say yes, I don't want to say no. I'm kind of like 50-50 because I have known people who
Oh, she left. She's back.
hello,
Hello?
welcome back.
What do you mean welcome back? I was here the whole time.
No, you dipped.
Everybody got quiet.
Well, we were
Yeah,
we were
she had a connection
yeah.
problem.
She probably had some connection problem. We were talking to you and we were like, "Hey, Jenny, what do you think about this?" And um, you weren't responding. So it's probably just some connection issue. Then you
Because
like,
last thing I heard it was you were talking. I
yeah,
was like, I'm waiting for a response, and I'm like, are they thinking?
yeah. There was probably some You probably disconnected for like a second because me and Maddie were here and then we just see your cube or your square or whatever just vanish and then now you come back. So it's
What?
probably just some connection issues. But technical difficulties. But we're back. Maddie, continue. What were you saying?
I don't want to say that he is broken up with, but at the same time, I don't want to say that he's not because I have known people who just up and vanish when things get tough. Um, but if it's your loved one, if somebody you're in a relationship with, I think that's beyond wrong. Because I understand you need to grieve, go grieve, but same time, all you're doing is ruining your relationship and possibly the mental state of the other person.
That's what I'm saying. Like there are good ways to grieve, bad ways to grieve. She's probably not doing a good thing. And I think, like I said, if I was in the situation of that dude, even if the girl were to come back and be like, "Hey, listen, I'm sorry. I just, I was feeling bad or this, that, and the third," I probably would just be like, "Listen, I understand you're going through stuff. I'm not gonna, beat you down about it, but I don't think this is gonna work out." And I'd probably just end it there, to be honest. Jenny, do you have any thoughts on this? Do you think that he's broken up with, or is he probably just tripping?
Coming from what she did, I feel like he is. Again, from the whole ghosting and not, telling him anything. I feel thing is it's complicated because I'm going through a grieving process myself right now, so I can understand why she'd probably want to be alone. Because I'm not gonna lie to you, when I'm going through this whole process, I do want to be alone. Like I want to isolate myself from the world because I'd rather just deal with the pain on my own. But at the same time, I still let people know, hey, I'm going through this. I want some time alone. But if she's just gonna ghost and not communicate that with him, then I feel like she's in the wrong for doing so.
Yeah, that's completely understandable. Like if you want to like be alone and you want to just like kind of be able to be in silence and with yourself. I mean, if you want to be alone, that's how you grieve. I get that. That's completely understandable. But don't like disappear. You know what I mean? Like you can be alone, but still like keep people knowing where you are or keep people knowing that you're still there and you're gonna come home and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like if you want to just go out chill or something. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Do your thing, but
Yeah,
make sure
have
that
the reassurance
yeah.
there, and just have the respect to be like, hey, I'm still pretty messed up mentally. I'm not okay, but I'm okay. I'll be back soon. Don't take it personally. Yada yada yada.
Yeah, it's like you got to be able to continue to keep your plants alive, even if you feel like you need kind of like a some like timeout or some type of break, I suppose, from like the world and whatnot. But I understand the sentiment. Any final thoughts on this post? Um, if not, we'll just move on to the next thing. What do you got? You guys have anything final to say?
I hope she didn't break up with you, my man.
Jenny, any final thoughts?
Honestly, I don't really have anything to say.
All right, that's fine. We'll move on to the first topic of today's show. That is Andrew Tate has just come to Florida. And if you guys are aware, based solely off the profile picture of every fucking account that we have, we are from Florida. So Andrew Tate comes to Florida. He came here, he was talking. I saw some interview with him that he was giving, saying some shit like, "Oh, we are innocent. We didn't do these things or whatever." I saw Ron DeSantis said, "Get the fuck out of Florida." I saw that he was kind of saying, "You're not welcome here," to Andrew Tate and them. I want to start this off with Jenny. Jenny, what are your thoughts on Andrew Tate? I mean, I highly doubt you have any favorable thoughts of him, but what are your thoughts of him? What do you think about him coming to Florida from Romania?
I clocked out on Andrew Tate years ago. Like that dude is a whole freaking complete disaster. I mean, I know Florida's a shit show, but I don't think he needs to be here to make it more of a shit show, honestly. He should just stayed over there and do what the fuck he does over there.
Yeah, I mean, I remember the whole like lawsuit thing that he was going through, the whole trafficking. I don't even know if I can say that shit on YouTube, but the whole thing that was going on with him and shit like that. Um, it's safe to say that you disagree with 90% or maybe even 100% of his takes.
I feel like everything he talked about was complete bullcrap. I don't like him. I don't agree with nothing he has to say. I feel like he just opens his mouth and a bunch of just poor shit comes out, honestly.
All right, Maddie, what are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on Andrew Tate? He's coming to Florida. He's here now. This dude's probably 30 minutes away from where you are at this very moment
Well,
in time. What do you think about that?
hold on, I'm gonna get my keys.
No problem, buddy. I mean, I guess I will say one thing as Maddie does the thing he's doing.
No, no, no. I was just no, no, no. I was saying, let me get my keys since he's here. Like, go find him.
Oh shit, bro! That completely went over my head. I apologize, buddy. You know what? Let me give you a little.
No, but the thing is, I'm not too familiar. Oh, thank you, buddy,
That's for you,
thank you.
buddy. I apologize for that going over my head. Go ahead. Anyways, as you were saying.
So, is the whole investigation and everything that was going on like a couple of years ago, is that still happening?
Supposedly they couldn't find anything substantial, and they were keeping him like. Basically, the courts in Romania, or whatever, found that they were keeping him for no reason at that point. Basically, so they dropped the case. I think I don't know if it's that they dropped the case. I think they did drop the case, but yeah, I'm pretty sure they dropped the case.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not too familiar with all that was happening, but probably gonna get a lot of hate for this. But Andrew Tate, he's a pretty good talker for the young men's generation.
Do you okay? Let me ask you guys a question.
For those
Actually,
who need to.
let me ask you guys a question. Actually, concerning him, I think. Do you guys think that he is a good representation of men's struggles today, and the kind of like the inner thoughts that men have been having for a little minute, but haven't been given the platform to say it? I suppose. You think he's kind of a good representative of that?
Uh I mean, not really. He does talk about, oh, be a smart guy. Don't vape. Don't eat this garbage. Work out. Don't chase things that aren't good for you. You know, be your own man. Things like that I like. Those are the things that we need to hear, especially in today's world where a lot of that just doesn't happen. So I like a lot of the stuff he says. Again, at the same time, he does say a lot of things that I don't agree with. And actually, in the very beginning of when his whole like he was starting, oh, like the whole Andrew Tate, uh, thread, sort of say was happening. I didn't like him until I sat down and watched an interview with Pierce Morgan and him, and I found out that in reality he's not bad. He's just trying to tell guys, be good, be smart, be the best version of yourself. That he loves, respects women, but of course, like everything else, all that shit gets cut out. So it just portrays him to be this very, very evil, misogynistic asshole, which in reality he's not.
Jenny, what are your thoughts on that?
I guess I mean I know where the intention is like coming from, but honestly, it's just also you gotta be careful how you word your shit, honestly. Because if you're just gonna spit it out and like word it a type of way, it's gonna kind of come off a certain type of way, then I can see why a lot of people do hate him. I personally don't like him, but also it's like you've mentioned before as well in certain topics, you have to watch how you say shit, how you word it, um, how you express it, because sometimes doing that, even when you're coming at it with the right intention, it could just completely, not come off good.
Yeah, I feel like to a certain degree he's very polarizing, and I feel like he does that on purpose. He tries to be polarizing, in order to gain attention and whatnot. I don't think he like expected to become as popular as he is. So I feel like most of his takes that he put on the internet was like meant to drive attention, and then once he really got that fame that he didn't expect to have, he was like, "Oh shit, I probably should start talking about what I actually believe." And then he started to get on Piers Morgan and stuff like that to really like kind of be more um normal, I guess you can say, and like kind of speak on things in more of a natural sense where it doesn't feel like he's being extremely fake for views and shit like that, being very polarizing. Although I do agree with majority of the things that he says. Obviously, there are some things where I'm like, this guy's crazy, but for the most part, I do agree with the things he says, and I think he is. I think he's indicative of the the opinion and kind of the mindset of most young men today, um, especially Christian men, which is funny to say because Andrew Tate is not a good representation of Christianity or the values, therefore, or sorry, thereof. But I think he's a indicative of the feelings and the sentiment of of most young men in today's society. Seeing all this degeneracy happen, seeing this like abandonment of like traditional values, and kind of this whole idea that um, we should be more. This push to liberal ideologies and stuff, I feel like has kind of made young men um, more, I suppose, frustrated with today's society. And people like Andrew Tate just kind of say the quiet part out loud. He kind of just takes the shit that we think and just says it out loud, and people don't like that. And I think that's why young men kind of gravitate towards that, because that's kind of what we want to do. We want to just say shit that we think out loud and not be, kind of not feel like we're going to lose potential women, or lose potential sexual partners, or lose, whatever the case, jobs or opportunities because of our opinions on women or whatever the case. Um, but yeah, at least that's the way I see it, me personally. I remember when he was coming up, and I was in like early high school and stuff like that, and I kind of had the same sentiments, to be honest. It's like I don't like this guy. He doesn't always say the shit that is super intelligent or like super like he's not always right, but you know, a lot of the time he is.
Yeah, I can agree to that. It's like anybody that's in the public, eye. You might I don't you don't agree with everything they say, but at the same time, you understand their point of view. You understand the message they're trying to get across, and the fact that the media outlets like to portray these people as the enemy, as the devil, and as people that aren't good. But in reality, they take a lot of shit out of context.
No, 100%. Um, I think as a Catholic, I see that a lot with Pope Francis, where they take a lot of the things he says and they just completely take it out of context, and then you know, it's like you hear one thing and that's what they put in the quote in their article or whatever, and then once you actually listen to the full like speech, you finally get the full picture, and it's like, dude, this isn't what he meant at all. But I kind of see that in the media today, especially with him. Like I said, being a Catholic, you see that with Pope Francis all the time, just continuing to misquote him and take him out of context and stuff. But I think Andrew Tate kind of says the quiet part out loud, and he doesn't really care. And I think majority of young men kind of want to be that kind of person, which don't. If you're a young guy, don't admire that. Don't try to become that. Be have values, be virtuous. Don't be like that. He
Be
says so,
your own person.
yeah, he says some shit that's right, but that doesn't mean that he is a person to look up to.
Couldn't have said it better.
Hmm.
Any final thoughts on this Andrew Tate stuff? He came to Florida, and Ron DeSantis kind of said, "Get the fuck out of here." Um, I know I asked final thoughts. I'm answering my own question at this point. He I don't think I think Ron DeSantis is trying to be cool, but whatever. I like the guy, but whatever. Do your thing, man. Any final thoughts on this Andrew Tate stuff?
No, sir.
All right, beautiful. We'll move on to the next thing. So I think this will kind of just be more so for me, Maddie, and I suppose all the other Catholic people. I just kind of wanted to mention this before we move on to the next thing, because I'm not gonna bog it down too much on this. I kind of just wanted to mention it in passing, and kind of urge people, especially those who are of the same faith, to pray for Pope Francis's health. He is going through a very serious health crisis at the moment. He has pneumonia. He had like liver problems that were going on. He seems to be doing better supposedly, but he is still going through these health problems, and he could definitely use prayers, and yeah, if you're Catholic, pray the Rosary. Dedicate the Rosary to Pope Francis. Attend Mass, and in every Mass, um, you know, petition that Mass for Pope Francis. Keep him in your prayers, and hopefully to God he does well and he gets better, and gets back in that office, and gets back in that Vatican and does what the Pope does. But yeah, that's just wanted to mention that real quick, and yeah, we can move on to the next thing. All right, Jenny, I have a question for you. Are men insecure
Yes.
for caring about body count in like their women? What do you think about body count? Is it important? Does it matter? Is it like a what does it matter type shit, or is it an important thing in your opinion? What are your thoughts on body count?
Um, I feel like it does matter, but at the same time, it doesn't. Like if I know some people use body count as a competitive thing. That's where I'm like, it's a little ridiculous because I have heard some conversation how some women have like, oh, I have this amount of body count and they think it sounds badass. And I'm like, that sounds gross because just you kind of been all around. But I've also heard men say, oh, I have this many, bodies, and it's like guys are like, oh, well, that's freaking great. You actually have, you get puss. And I'm like, it makes no sense. So it's like I feel like it shouldn't matter, but at the same time it does. I don't know how to explain this.
Do you feel like the lower the body count, the better?
Honestly, I think so. Because it feels like you haven't really like gone around that much. Like you haven't, I guess, per se necessarily been like a hoe, whether it goes to men or female. But I don't know, I feel like the thought of somebody going through like a whole shit ton of bodies is just that's a little gross. Cause like you kind of just if it's for men you stick it anywhere, and then if it's for women you'll just hop on anything, and it's just like that's a little uh concerning, honestly.
I have a question towards that remark, if I can, Matt.
Yeah, buddy. Of course. Go ahead.
So I have heard from I've seen on social medias and things like that. some girls feel that it shouldn't matter because why would the body count matter now that they're in a relationship with you, quote unquote, that it shouldn't, the past shouldn't matter. But and if a girl wants to go through her whole face because she broke up with her boyfriend of a couple years, that that it's okay. And for her to get into a relationship, it shouldn't matter to the guy because a girl's seen as a hoe or a slut for sleeping around with a lot of dudes, or just having many bodies, but then a guy is seen as a quote unquote king for having a lot of bodies. Do you believe that that's the case? As a woman, from like from a woman's perspective.
Do I think that men and women see it differently? Yes, of course. I think men and women see high body counts different. I think women see high body count in a man to be more of a status thing. It's like, oh, a bunch of women want this guy, versus a man seeing a woman with a high body count is more like, damn, she's really giving it up to a lot of guys, you know? And I think that's natural, that's biological, and I also think that's very historical. Um, Considering the idea, let me ask you guys a question just on this topic. What do you guys think of this quote? Or I suppose this. I mean, I don't know who the fuck said it, but it's just kind of a quote that was popular for a while.
Is it the key one?
Yeah. So, what do you guys think of the quote? Um, a key that opens every lock is a good ass key, but a lock that opens to every key is a shitty lock. What do you guys think about that analogy towards this conversation specifically?
Go ahead, Jen.
Yeah, we'll start with you, Jen. What do you think about this one? About that analogy? Do you think that analogy makes
Wait,
sense, or
a key that opens every lock is a good key, but a lock that what was the last part? A lock that what?
a lock that opens to every key is a shitty lock? Oh fuck, my voice cracked. There's a shitty lock. Fucking hell.
Fuck yeah, it's a shitty goddamn lock. Get the lock fixed.
Yeah. So you think that that's like a you think that that analogy makes like you think that that's a good analogy when it comes to this conversation about like high body counts between men and women?
Mm, I feel like yeah, so maybe I think.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Uh,
I suppose to kind of get more into the depths of this topic specifically. Do you guys, or Jenny, do you think that it's more acceptable for a guy to have a higher body count than for a woman to have a higher body count?
from my point of view, like from my perspective,
I mean, I think societally we can both agree that it would probably be more like socially acceptable. But in your view, would you do you think it's like less of like it's less nasty when a guy has a higher body count, or it's like more acceptable, or do you think it's like all the same and it's just shitty in all facets?
for me, I think it's just the higher the body count. I think, I mean, if it's an insane amount, then it's gross. And I think that goes for both female and male. If you guys have really high as fucking body counts, then that's a little, to me, I don't like that. That's a little gross.
I agree. I mean, I think me personally, I would say that. I mean, obviously there are differences. I would say men and women are not equal. There is in no way, any sort of way that we will be equal. We are different, and that's what makes us. That's what makes it beautiful. The dichotomy between the two of us, between the two genders. What I would say is that it's definitely different. Body count between men and women. It's 100% different. Um, it's like what Maddie was saying, it's a different reaction that a woman would get to a man having a higher body count versus a man to a woman having a higher body count. Like I said, that's biological, that's social, historical. It's just what it is. Although I don't think anybody should. I'm not advocating for a high body count. Everybody, you should stay chaste and only lose your virginity to the person you marry. That is the best uh, outcome. That is, if I were to advocate for something, that'd be it. But I'm just pointing out a fact, I suppose. If you guys have any last, or if I don't know if you
Well,
guys have any further. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
something I do want to say because it's funny. Okay, for example, for men, the higher the body count, it's viewed as a, oh my God, like a king status, like you said. And for females, higher body count, it's more like, oh, you kind of open it up to everybody. But it's funny because I've been in a circle of friends, female friends, that this topic has come up, and it's even put the other way around, where it's like, oh, the guy's a complete hoe, but you're among your female friends, and it's like, oh, I have like this many dudes, and it's funny because they still hype each other up, like, oh, now you're the queen because you're getting, basically mad dick, and I'm like, that's what I'm saying. To me, it's kind of the same shit for both, because it's just like women kind of do the same crap when it comes to that body count. Like when you're a friend group, they'll hype you up. But if it's like, from one female to another, you don't really know her, it's like, oh, it's kind of a whole thing. But within friend groups, they do hype each other up, and I guess the higher it is, the more like, oh, she's kind of a bad bitch. She can get dick type of thing.
But
Yeah,
then again, it is easier for a woman to get a man than a man to get a woman.
and that's where I think it probably comes down, where it's like, what is the difference between the two of us? And like for me personally, I would say in your experience when you're with your female friends, I think when it comes to the men hyping each other up, I think it's fact. When it comes to the women hyping each other up, I think they're coping. I think it's lies that they tell each other to make each other feel better, and like to not make each other feel like they're sluts. They're gonna like hype each other up and shit like that, when it's not really true. You know what I mean? The shit that they're saying to each other, like, "Oh, you're a boss babe because you have fucked a bunch of guys." Yeah, you're coping. But for dudes, it actually is a status thing. You know what I mean? I would agree with Maddie there.
But you know what? Also, it might be, bro,
No, I agree
because
too.
go ahead, Jen.
No, 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 go, go, go.
Thank you. Um, I also think that in today's society, bro, sex has lost all of its meaning of intimacy and love. Now people just, both guys and girls just go to a club, go to a dance, whatever. They have a couple drinks, they meet somebody, and then they have sex at night, at the end of the night, and then that's it. They do the same shit next Friday, then that Friday after that. It's just a whole process. It doesn't have the same value, which I think also plays into the like the sensitive nature of that topic. Is that, yeah, it's okay, yeah, whatever, but you have to value the intimacy, because it's not just having sex, it's sharing your body with another person. And you want to share that with somebody new every other Friday. That, to me, I'm okay. I'd rather not be another check on the list.
I agree, buddy. Um, I think another aspect to it is like I, I don't know. It just, to me personally, in today's society, women have forgotten what it is to be ladies, to be proper, and I think men have forgotten what it is to be men, gentlemen, and chivalrous. Um,
I can agree to that, yeah,
yeah,
because a lot of the times you see these girls on social medias and dating apps and just in general, oh, chivalry is dead, show me chivalry isn't dead, this and that.
and women killed it. Me personally, I feel like it's like, you know, to me personally, this whole idea, like, you tell a woman, listen, I know you're kind of like the whole, you're the boss babe, whatever. You don't want a man to like, you don't need a man, whatever the case, whatever, it's fine, whatever. It's like these OnlyFans creators, or she's like a stripper or something, or she dresses very provocatively, and she wants a man to provide for her. She wants a man to pay for all the dates. She wants a man to open the car door for her. She wants a man to protect her and provide for her, all that type of shit. It's like, yeah, I understand that you want that, but do you deserve that? You know what I mean? That's the different question, is whether or not you deserve that treatment. And I think if you want your man to be chivalrous, you want your man to be um, a gentleman and be like kind of exuding that behavior of chivalry, you kind of have to be a lady to deserve that, to me personally. And, women don't really act like ladies anymore. Men don't really act like gentlemen. And now we get this like, you know, this like break apart between the sexes. I don't know if you
I
guys
can
have.
agree. There's no more like honesty to oneself and being the true staple of a good version of your sex. Of your role as a man or a woman. I don't think that shit happens anymore, bro.
I agree. I agree. I think one of the biggest aspects of that as well, forgetting that, was the separation of the church. Like people leaving the church, they started to forget what that actually was like. I don't know if you guys have any last final comments on this before we move it on, or do you guys have anything else to say?
Nobody.
I'm good.
All right, beautiful. Let's go to the next one. Jenny, question. We've asked this before. Um,
Yes.
well, actually, we haven't asked this before because we never had a woman on, but now we have a woman on. I'm kind of curious. You're gonna be spawned into the into the forest, right? You're gonna be just randomly spawned into the
Oh
forest.
my God.
Are you spawned into the forest with a random man or a random bear? They are
Which
also
would you
just
prefer?
yeah. Which one would you prefer? They're spawned in, they're just randomly plumped in that forest with you. Which one are you choosing?
I'm taking the fucking bear. I don't care.
And
You're
why is that? Please explain that.
Oh man. There's a lot of shit that can go south
listen,
with just
listen,
a
yeah, listen.
random man that you don't.
Look, we're gonna go into this topic. Try to use SA instead of like if that's what you're thinking. Try to use SA instead of the grape without the G. Just yeah. Anyways, as you were saying.
Yeah, for me, I definitely happily pick the freaking bear, over a random guy. Because at the same time, yeah, you could pick the guy. It could also benefit. It could help. Whatever the case is. But um, I wouldn't know his true intentions, so I wouldn't be comfortable being in a forest by myself completely with a whole random guy. No, not comfortable with that at all. I'll take the bear.
Let me also add this caveat. You're gonna cross paths with this thing that you're gonna choose. So you're gonna cross paths with the bear, or you're gonna cross paths with the man. It's like you're gonna cross paths. Are you still choosing the bear in this case? Because you can't hide. You can't like. Hopefully the bear doesn't see me. Like he's gonna see you. He's gonna cross paths with you. The man or the bear. You're still choosing the bear.
Still choosing the bear. Yep.
Okay. Now, what if I were to say like, if it was 10 men versus 10 bears, would you still choose the 10 bears?
That 10 men one sounds like a complete nightmare. Holy crap. I'm choosing 10 bears, man. Well,
But
hold up. Actually, hold up. I retract my statement on that one because then again, not everyone has that same intention, but it can also go really south real quick.
well, I mean,
Uh, uh,
I think now we get to the
um,
heart of it. It's like you have this thought that men are going to do bad things to you. What percentage of men do you think would do these type of things?
I'm not gonna lie, it's a good 50-50
50
in my
50.
eyes.
So, I mean,
Damn.
so you think that 50% of the male population, let's just say USA, the 50% of the male population in the USA would do something like this to you if
Well, not in
given.
the USA alone. If you meant like the whole world, then I would say 50, like 50. I thought that's what you meant.
All right, what about like the USA? Or like let's just say American men just in total, it's like 300. I forgot how much it is, like 150 million or something like that. What percentage of American men would do something bad to you, whether that be SA or abuse or like hurt you in some way, if you were in the forest alone? What percentage would you say?
Oops. A good 30 to 40%.
30 to 40% of men. So you okay? So that'd be like what? It's like 60%. That's like no 30 to 40. That's like 3 out of 5 men.
All right, let me hold on,
Do I have that?
buddy.
Do I have that math right? Fuck, am I tripping?
All right, let me do something. Okay. So what percent Matt was it?
She said it was, if I'm not mistaken, 40%, 30 40%.
30, 30 to 40. 38. Put
If
38.
okay,
It's
30. Okay, so
38%.
38%. You'd put 38% on it.
Okay. So just to make it easier for the calculator because I don't know how to do math, I googled it. There are currently 166.1 million men in the United States alone. So I did it by the 40%. So that means out of the 166 million, you would believe that 66,400,000 men would try something terrible.
Damn, that's a huge number. Damn, you guys are going way too much to the bone. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, because I think this is like indicative. I would say like of like the perception of women today of like men. You know what I mean? It's like you would choose a vicious animal like just in the forest. You would choose an animal that most likely is probably going to maul you to death over a man who isn't even for sure going to hurt you. That's just like an assumption that you have. It's like and then 30 to let's just say 38 because you said 38% of men would do this to you. That's like it's like 3 out of 10 men or 4 out of 10 men actually would do this to you. That like would you say that 4 out of 10 men in your family like when it comes to your male family members, 4 out of 10 of your family members would do something like that to you?
I don't necessarily talk to my family, so I wouldn't know, to be honest with you. I actually don't.
Do you have like male friends?
The majority of my friends are males, yeah.
Okay, so you would say that like at least 4 like do you have 10 at least 10 male friends?
Yeah.
Do you would you say that at least 4 of those men would do something bad to you or any other woman in the forest if they were given the opportunity?
Mhm. Um, I just had a friend who showed up on the news for that. That's kind of why. But I'm pretty sure I got some friends who would do something like that, just we're not sure of it.
Okay, okay. I mean, I just I just don't get this like I oh,
I mean, I could gladly explain. I can explain why a lot of time women would choose a bear over a man. And I'm gonna say this flat out. It's not every man is the same, and that's what a lot of women do get that twisted where they say, "Oh, all men are the same." No, I completely disagree with that. Um, if all men are the same in their eyes, that's because but not all the men are the same. Not all men tend to have SA instincts. Not all of them do. But there are some sick puppies out there
yeah, but you
that
would
do.
say that
Oh, don't compare
30
them to
And
you would say to
puppies.
40 like cuz you said 38. Let's just round it up to 40. You would say that 40% of men would be these sick puppies? Like that's a big number. Like if
it
I
is, I
have
want to say if we're putting it out into the world.
I'm just saying because like if I have like 10 glasses in front of me of water and only 4 out of 10 of those glasses have poison in them and I can drink a random one to like win like $10,000, I probably would not take that bet to be honest with you. Like I'm probably not doing that shit because that's a lot of glasses, man. That's a lot of glasses. I, I don't know. It's just like would you say that that's sexist though? Would you say that at least that's sexist?
I guess in a way, yes, but necessarily you can't really blame us for thinking that way either.
Elaborate.
Because
Explain. What
maybe
do you mean
back
by
in
that?
the day, a woman, like maybe back in the day, like before, I guess men start to realize what SA was and the fact that you could have do things by force or do those kind of things basically. I feel like nowadays it's completely different. I feel like a lot of men cannot take no for an answer, and I feel like some of them when they just can't take no, they're like, okay, well, I'm gonna get what I want, however I want, when I want. And it's just I've seen cases, and it's a complicated topic. It is sexist, I am not gonna lie. Because at no point in time, if you ask a man, oh, would you pick a random woman or bear? Of course, you're gonna pick a woman at the freaking first chance you get, of course. But that's because from the woman's perspective, men tend to kind of do certain things that make women uncomfortable. They when we go out in public, you won't really necessarily see a woman catcall a man or, either grab an ass or grab your shit randomly. It's very few cases. Some women do that though. It's very few cases. You can go out and women always get catcalled. If you're at a club or whatever, a lot of times a man would randomly touch you or grab you by force, or it's just you won't really see a woman out in public, grab a guy, pull him into an alley, and do something, like SA. It could happen because there's been cases where women have SA or raped men. That is true. It does happen. But it's more likely to happen the other way around.
I mean, yeah, that is true that there are more cases of men to women SA than women to men. I wouldn't even say that that is more than 2% of the population of men though that would do that. To be honest, I mean, the case no like the number of cases that have come out like that, it's not even like 2% of the population of men. To like put it that way, it's like 30% of the 40% of the population would do that shit. Is like that's just crazy to me. And of course, that's obviously not good. It's like, you know, don't touch women in public, whatever the case. Don't do that type of shit. Those are scumbags, 100%. It's just like 40% of them, bro. Like that's crazy. Like that's wild to me. Like I don't know. I feel like this is just indicative of like like more of that stuff we were talking about when we were talking about Andrew Tate is like the sentiment of men today, where it's like, bro, we're seen as these predators, we're seen as these people who are like, or like these bad people who like when it comes to just even society as a whole, feminism and stuff like that is a big ass thing today, where most women are would you identify yourself as a feminist? Would you say?
Nah, I'm sorry. That whole feminist crap, like if we're talking about feminism, like that's a whole disturbing cult that they got going on. Nah,
What about like if I
they
were to
take it
say
too
like
far.
what if yeah, I mean I hear that a lot as well. What would you say like are you a first wave feminism? Like the suffrage movement and shit like that?
I guess, yeah. Like I'm not like those psychotic crazy one where it's like, oh, like men and women are the same. Like, how you said, at the end of the day, men and women are not gonna be equal. There's a lot of differences. So I do agree with that. But I guess from a complete feminist, it'd be like, no. So it's just like I don't rock with the way feminism and the feminists think. It's disturbing. They sometimes carry themselves like insane. They're mental. So it's just for me, I just feel like I guess the level of feminist or feminism that I would consider is just like you said, women's suffrage and stuff like that. But it's not like, oh, okay, let's freaking hate men and that's it. Like I don't hate men. I just, it's kind of fear that's been instilled into us. So I mean, we can't really help it.
I think that right
But
there.
I'm like I know I can say
Go ahead, finish.
I know that I can say easily that not every single man is like that. Like not every man thinks that way. Not every single man is the same. It's not. It's there's a good, few that are. Not everyone's the same.
I think that what you said there, where it's like fear that's instilled in you, is 100% like the root of it. I would say is like the reason why women think when you ask a woman this question, a majority of them who say bear, they immediately think the man is going to essay them or whatever the case may be, and they think that the number of men who would do something like this is like crazy. It's like 40% of men, 50. I've even heard like 60%, 50% of men would do that type of shit. It's like half of the male population in the U.S. would do that. It's crazy. It's like it's the way that like you hear growing up with your parents a lot of the time. It's like your dad telling you, "Oh, be careful with the strange men out there," or like women growing, or like their mothers talking about like, "Oh, like don't let no man like control you," all this type of shit. Where men are portrayed as this predator, like this predatory like figure in today's world, where the daughters need to be careful of these men. You know what I mean? And I think it's like, women are always taught as young girls how to be treated by men or how they should be treated. Like, you got to learn how to, you got to learn how to like, this is how men should treat you and stuff like that. And I think men are
Yeah,
true.
or the fact that they don't need a man.
Yeah, shit
You
like that as
know,
well, like independence and stuff like that. Like, you don't need no man, shit like that. Or if you do have a man, this is how he should treat you. I think men are like young boys are also treated or also taught like this is how you should treat women. You should be chivalrous. You should open the doors for them. You should treat them nicely and all this type of stuff. I don't think
help them if you see them with a flat tire on the road. Help them do this. Help them do that. You know, make sure their car is running well. Do the essential things. But then women are saying you don't need a man, be independent, this and that. But then we're treated like the bad guys when we were the raised, like you said. And I'm so sorry to cut you off.
nah, buddy.
It's
Go
just,
ahead.
it's just we're raised. Treat them well. Treat them with the highest respect. Always help them. Make sure they feel safe and protected, and this and that. And then not all of them, but then you have a lot of girls who are raised by women saying you don't need a man, you know, go do you, go have fun, you live your life, you experience this, do that, you could be independent, this and that. But at the same time, those are the type of girls, not all of them, who are either raised by a mother who's divorcing a father or the father's not in the picture. So we're talked bad upon on behalf of the bad part of our male society, which again, it's also goes men on the same side, but that's the unfortunate truth that girls, oh, you don't need a man, you're independent, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Boys, treat her well, make her happy, protect her. It's so sad that it's completely different. And the fact that girls always or women would say, oh, I'll choose a bear. 64% of guys are more afraid to approach you and ask for your number at a bar than women. So 64% of men at a club are afraid to walk up to you, tell you they think you're pretty, and they would like to know you and have your number because one, you're gonna react, oh, what are you doing? Leave me alone. You're harassing me, this and that. And that just sucks for us because it could be a nice chivalrous guy who could give you a good life, treat you like a the princess you pray for, you want this and that. It's like the saying, uh, girls want Spider-Man but walk past Peter Parker every day.
That's like a like that's the type of quote I would hear from Maddie, I swear. But no, I
It's
completely
true.
agree. No, I completely agree. That's what I was saying before is like, women want all the chivalrous qualities, they want all the gentlemanly behavior, but they don't act like ladies. There there's a certain like there's a certain way to deserve this treatment. You know what I mean? It's not just you can't just expect this type of shit. I mean, as a woman you can because women have it easy in life. They live on recruit difficulty, but it's like, you got to understand that for the most part men are going to, especially the chivalrous ones, the gentlemen, all those type of men that most women look for, they're gonna want traditional women. They're gonna want women who are ladies, and you exude that behavior. If you don't, why in the world would a gentleman, would a chivalrous man give you the time of day? Like, women are the gatekeepers of sex, men are the gatekeepers of commitment. And a man who's the gatekeeper of commitment, this guy, knows what he wants and whatnot, which is what men have failed to do nowadays. It's like men need to know their boundaries. They need to hold fast to those boundaries. Men who do that, you know, they're why in the world would that man settle for you? You know what I mean? What do you bring to the table?
100%. And Jennifer, if I could ask you a question.
Hmm.
So let's say you're in a relationship, right? And let's say your man gets home before you, right? And as soon as you
Okay.
walk in the door, he starts complaining. Oh, why didn't you tell me you were on your way home? Oh, and he starts complaining about other things like, oh, I need your help with this, or why isn't this like this? And he starts complaining. Would you want to deal with that when you walk in through the house as soon as you come home from working all day to provide for the house?
Nope.
And why is that? Is it because he's a man and he's supposed to help provide and deal with the issues and not be a submissive, whiny little, I'll just say a whiny little bitch? Or is it because you want him to take care of all the problems, be the man, find the solution, and move on from that so it doesn't happen again. That's what you would want, right?
Yeah.
So that's coming from, from the woman's perspective. Now, here's the worst part is that not all of them, this goes from both sides too. But a lot of the times, you know, we're out there, we're busting our ass, we're working hard, putting up with shit at work that we don't want to. But you know what? The benefits are great, the insurance is great. Not speaking about the company I work for. I'm giving an example. Giving an example. I love the company I work for. Uh, you know, we're providing insurance, we're providing the money, we're trying to be the breadwinners, or we are the breadwinners, and we're doing all this. And we get home, we don't want to hear any yelling, any nagging, any complaining. That's not what a relationship is for. Because, and I was seeing this on social media from a couple of other podcasts, of like the ones who are where we are going to be getting soon, right, Matt? Yes, we are. Where no woman would want to go home to a man that's complaining, whining, bitching, because that he's uh that's unmasculine. Yeah, unmasculine. The man is supposed to be the provider, the protector, and the support. Woman, you're gonna think he's less of a man. He is less of a man if he's bitching and complaining about all that shit, right? Because you hold the man at a higher level, and we hold ourselves to that higher level. And the problem is, a lot of the times we get home whining, nagging, bitching, all this stuff. Again, not everyone. There's good women and there's good men. But then again, there's bad women, bad men. And that's where the problem comes from. We're held on this pedestal that we can't complain. We can't this. We can't show you our problems. We have to deal with everything ourselves. And yeah, we do. And then we get it done. But then we're looked at as the enemy. Oh, he's a dog. He's this, he's that. Who do you call to fix your tire? Your brother, your dad, your cousin, your male cousin. Or AAA, and who shows up? Fucking Manuel, or Hector from AAA. Oh, there's a fire. Who goes? The men. We're held on such a high standard, not just professionally, but both spiritually, emotionally, and physically, that we're a lot of the times we're not treated with the respect and femininity that we deserve from putting out all the masculinity and strength and power for to give the women the best life that they deserve
I mean,
and
yeah,
need from the partnership.
dude, I mean, I think that's like I said, I think that's a teller of the roles between men and women that we've forgotten. You know what I mean? We've forgotten
100%.
that we have roles, and when a woman naturally is out of her role, aka she's a sex worker or she has a high body count, when she's not like indicative of that role, when she's not like exuding that like essential role that a woman plays, men kind of get grossed out. And then when a man is not playing that role, aka opens the door for her, pays for the meals, for the bills, he provides for her, protects her. When he doesn't do those things, most women get grossed out as well. At the end of the day, like no matter how much women kind of want to go away from that, or some men want to go away from that, it's there, and it's gonna show up in situations like this all the time. This no matter what, this is gonna continue to show up.
100%, because it's like the same way. And I'm sorry to keep on rambling. It's just,
No, you're okay, buddy.
it's
Like
good
keep talking.
conversation.
Yeah, keep talking about it.
It's like the same way how women want us to be the strong, masculine support. You know, you want us to be the guy that if y'all are out and some guy says some slick shit to you, or he hits on you, you want us to knock his ass out. You want us to defend you. You want us to honor you and love you. So we deserve the the feminine, the femininity back, the love, the support, the looking looking your best, getting your hair done, getting your nails done, being our love and our support. But a lot of times that doesn't happen.
Yeah,
You
no,
know,
we've
if you want me
forgotten
to
that
open the
shit.
door for you, pay for the meal. Yeah, 100%. It's the same way. You want me to open the door for you. You want me to drive. You want me to be the designated driver at all times. Then all right, look good for me. When I come home from work one day, you know, let me have a hot meal, because if I'm doing everything to make sure you're living a good, comfortable life and you feel safe and secure with me, then I played my role. And as a woman, you need to play your role. Jennifer, do you think I'm wrong or right for that? Because I know what Matthew's gonna say, but I would love to have the opinion of a woman. Do you think that if I'm providing the money, the support, the protection, the important things, and all I ask is for you to be a to embrace your femininity, love and support and caringness that a woman should. Do you think that's asking for too much, or do you think that that should be in fair trade, or just be given without question?
Honestly, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. I think everything that you said, I agree with 110%. And I'm not gonna sit here just because I'm a woman and defend women. I'm not gonna lie. Women are very fucking sneaky, and women think they can get away with a lot of things. And that's the part that pisses me off, because the fact that since women think, okay, just because we're women, we can get away with a lot of shit. We're sneaky, we're cute about it. I feel like that's ruined a lot of things. Like, it was cool the fact that you guys started to talk about the whole bear and the man thing in a forest, because I can see why you guys felt that way about it. I didn't know that way, by the way. I didn't know it was like that. But it's the fact that there are chivalrous men out there. There are great men out there. There's actual proper gentlemen out there. I'm gonna 100% agree with that. There is. But some of those women have ruined the image for those men. Like
And
there's the bad batch that has ruined it for the good ones. Like, to be honest with you. So
100%
that's
on
why a
both
lot of
sides as
women, I
well.
don't know if you guys ever hear, yeah, a lot of women will say every man's the same thing. All men are pigs. That's the thing that I'm not gonna lie. A lot of us women do say. All men are pigs. No, they're not. Maybe they're pigs, the ones that you come across. Maybe the ones that you associate yourself with. But I have a lot of guy friends. I'm gonna be honest. I have more guy friends than female friends, because I just can't stand the drama, and sometimes the way women think absolutely piss me off. So I like to stand in the ground where I'm neutral, and I like to see both sides. But I
May I
have more male
interject?
friends than female. Go ahead.
I don't mean to cut you off. I'm so sorry, and I know I'm talking a lot. But what you said just brought me up a point that I didn't
Go
want to
ahead.
forget. How you said all men are dogs. That all the men that she's getting or whatever are dogs. How you present yourself is what you're attracting. So if you're attracting dogs, then you're probably out there looking like a very nice used chew toy, because anybody that's had pets, you understand that that old stuffed animal that you gave the dog when they were a puppy and now they're 10 years old, they prefer that than all the new toys you get them. So it's like you said, if she's complaining that she's getting only attracted by all these dogs, all these douchebags and fuckboys, there has to be a reason. It's not because of them. It's because that's what they're attracted to. So that's what they see in you. If you present yourself as a lady, a nice, beautiful
Exactly.
dress, hair done, makeup done, you'll attract the nice guy. You'll attract that businessman. You'll attract that guy that sees the potential and the future. Again, this goes for guys as well. If you're in there with your baggy ass pants, Air Forces, holes in your pants, big ass oversized shirt and chain, that stupid fuckboy haircut, you're gonna attract the girls that match that energy. It's all about matching the energy. So, but unfortunately,
Yep.
sometimes ignorant voices are a lot louder than the ones that are the are that have more genuinity, or are more genuine. I just wanted to say that real quick, because what you said, that just brought me up to that point. I'm so sorry to have interrupted. I would love for you to continue.
No, no, no. You are actually right, because there's a lot of cases that I have with female friends, and even female friends in the past, that they complain on, oh, why can't I find a good guy, or why can't I, find a proper man or a proper gentleman, whatever the case is. And I've seen them get with men that I'm like, yo, like, this one's a keeper. But you drop the keeper to get with a fuck boy, to get with someone who's just gonna play with you, to get with someone who's just gonna completely ruin you. And then you're gonna sit there and go, "Oh, all men are the same, all men are trash." It's like, no, it's because you can't seem to sometimes see the value in the proper men, and you just, I don't know if it's the thrill of, I don't get the whole point of fuckboys. I really don't. But a lot of women seem to keep going for those, and then the actual good ones are being thrown in the back. And it's kind of why I sit here and I can easily say a lot of the good men are kind of hidden amongst the whole crowd of fuckboys because the fuckboys are easily picked out. They're the easy ones to go for. Everybody wants one, and I'm like, yo, it's like, where are the actual good ones at? They're there. And a lot of women will say, oh, good men are extinct. No, they're not extinct. It's just you keep going for absolute trash. And I'm going to say it, fuckboys and all these guys that are like that, trash. Easily. I don't care who gets
A
offended,
hundred
whoever's listening,
percent.
trash.
It's like that expression that I love. I can't remember who told me it, or where I saw it from. I believe probably TV or some one of the old heads at my job told me this, that you're not able to convince the fly that no is no, you can catch more flies with honey than with shit. You can't convince anybody. You can I can't remember what it is.
You got it,
I,
Maddie.
damn, it's an analogy like that. Like you can catch more flies with honey rather than shit, but yet shit is always covered in more flies than honey. So what does that just tell you about? And
Mm-hmm.
that goes for society. It's like you said, you have the guys. He's wearing the nice T-shirt, the nice polo, nice jeans, the decent shoes, haircut. He's a good-looking guy. He's like an average 6, 7, maybe 8. Maybe a little dab bod going on, maybe a little less than a dab bod. He's not like the rest of the guys that are out there, like I described. Stupid haircut, the ripped jeans, big ass cross, even though they sin the most, all that fancy shit that they're just gonna attract, you know, the crowd that, the majority don't want. But then it's like you said, a lot of these women, like, where the good guys at? Oh, I can never find a good guy. You know what? You did find a good guy. Your best friend, Carlos, who's been your best friend and always been by your side and cares for you more than just a friend, or he's always been there for you, this and that, and he loves you with his whole heart, gives up because he doesn't want that, because he just sees that you're only attracted to the shit when he's the honey, that you would get better nutrients and better overall life performance from. But at the end of the day, a lot of it isn't seen like that. And I know I'm probably gonna get hate, and it sounds like I'm hating on women. It's not hating on women. It's the unfortunate fact and the truth that us good guys in the society are overlooked. It's like I said, all these girls want Spider-Man, but they walk past Peter Parker, because I'm pretty sure you can attest, Jennifer. What you look for in a guy is you see the potential, you see the drive, you see the growth, you see the future. It's like, damn, this guy has his head straight. He's got all these goals in life. He has all these ambitions. I like that in a man. I feel like we're gonna support each other. I want to help him grow, be by his side, be a good woman, this and that. Would you agree that that's how the majority of the good women think?
Yep.
But unfortunately, not
Some.
all of them. I'm not.
Some do.
Yes, because I learned the hard way that, unfortunately, sometimes the way I say most, it'll upset people, which I understand. Some of them, because it's like it's men, women. It's like race and gender. There's the good, then there's the bad. There's the good in the community, then there's the bad in the community. But unfortunately, like I said,
Yep. Mhm.
ignorance is louder than the intelligent mind,
I have a
or
qu-
the
I,
intelligent voice.
yeah, and I have a question about this. When it comes to a man, right, and a woman, you guys get in a relationship. Would you say that a man asking a woman to, um, let's just say she's like a partier, she likes to go to clubs and she likes to party and stuff like that. If he tells her to stop clubbing, that she can't club anymore, what would you say that that's like? Would you say that that's an okay thing for a man to say to his woman?
If she's like an all the time, like she's going out all the time, and that's all she ever does, not per se to get her to stop, but like, hey, simmer it down a bit, because I feel like once you're in a relationship, you can't just go ham like you used to compared to when you're single. Things do have to change. I am gonna agree. Things do have to change, but I wouldn't per se completely put it to a halt, but kind of like relax a bit, simmer it down, cut back on it a bit. That's kind of maybe what I would say.
What if he tells her like, maybe she doesn't go too often. Maybe it's like every now and again. Um, but he goes, I don't want you to go at all. I want you to stop going like completely. Would you say that that's not good?
I feel like that's not good.
Uh,
Honestly, it's not.
okay, what about like if she has like, let's just say she has like bikini pictures on her Instagram, or she has like, pictures on her Instagram that are a little bit provocative, and he just tells her, "Listen, I don't want those pictures up anymore. I want you to take them down." What do you would you say that is him being um, not reasonable or whatever the case?
Or
I
that
guess
it's him
depending
being
how
controlling.
provocative.
Yeah, like let's
No,
say
no,
she's
no,
like
no,
let's say she's like
no.
kind of
If it's very, very provocative,
sorry, go ahead. That's my fault.
oh, if it's really, really provocative, like like you kind of trying to insinuate something, I would definitely say take it out. Now, let's say like it's just a regular one, like you're posing with your family, like with a group of friends, and it's not like kind of meaning anything. I don't think there would really be an issue with having it up. Now, if you're posting because you're trying to insinuate something, then I would say take it down, at least out of respect.
What if it's like just let's just say he's like the type of guy who just doesn't like posts in general. Like I don't like I don't like my girlfriend to have a Instagram at all. She's just I think Instagram is a dating app. Like essentially is a dating app. And uh, her having any sort of presence on Instagram being a dating app, I'm not comfortable with it. So I'd rather her not have any posts on there, even if they're family posts or anything like that. I'd rather her just not have any posts. Would you say that she should listen to him, or she should keep the posts up and do as she wishes?
I mean, if it's like that, then it's a little bit like it is a little bit controlling because you just have social media just to have your friends there, but to completely take it down because one says, I don't think that's that's a little bit crazy, honestly. Yeah, if you're telling them to take down a dating app, of course. But if it's just Instagram or Facebook that you have friends, family members, I don't I don't think it's right for anybody to take it down because one says so.
Okay, what about like she wears or she wears like crop tops or whatever. She kind of shows her belly button and whatnot, and you know, she kind of dresses a little bit where she shows too much skin, and the guy tells her you should start dressing more modestly. You should start wearing clothes that you should start covering up more. You think that that's fine for him to tell her, or is that like equally, or I suppose
I'm not,
similarly controlling?
I wouldn't say crop top is like an insane thing about showing skin. I think crop top is just part of like the regular fashion nowadays. Now, if you're gonna walk out, because I've seen these women dress up like, like near butt naked, then yeah. But if it's just like let's say like crop top and like I don't know, maybe like not booty shorts, but like just regular shorts, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But if you're gonna walk out with booty shorts that you can literally see the under part of your cheeks hanging, and you wear a crop top that the under part of your boobs are hanging out, then it's like you might as well just post yourself on somewhere else. That would be an issue. But if it's just like a regular outfit, because I've seen women dress up with crop top and shorts, and it's not insinuating anything. It doesn't look like hoish per se. It looks normal. So I feel like that's a little bit also too much.
Okay, I mean I ask these questions only because I'm trying to get down to the root of like the whole idea here is that men who are worth you know who are worth their salt, they're masculine men, all this type of stuff. We want traditional women. One of the things of traditional women is being submissive. And I think women kind of get this a little bit twisted here, where they tell you, "Oh, I will be submissive to my man. I'll listen to my man and what he says, and I'll listen to what he tells me to do and whatnot." Um, you know, Submission is not it's not like conditional, right? So conditional submission is not really submission. It's like, oh, I'll submit to you, but only when I feel like you're, worthy of submission, or only when I feel like you are telling me something that I want to submit to, or only when I feel like you're not being controlling, or only when I feel like you're not being insecure. Conditional submission is not submission. So like the thing about it is, considering these ideas, I always tell men the same thing. If you're out in the dating market, the best thing you can do in order to weed out the women that are good for you versus the ones that are not is have standards and hold to those standards. If a woman doesn't want to stop posting on Instagram provocative pictures, she doesn't want to start dressing differently, she doesn't want to, act a certain way. She doesn't adhere to your boundaries in this way, in modesty and things of this nature. Hold fast to those boundaries. Don't let a woman just kind of run over them. That's how you get fucking played, bro. And that's why men nowadays are frustrated how they are and whatnot. Is because of the fact that we're not men anymore. We don't have boundaries where we hold them tight. You know what I'm saying? We're kind of loose with our shit. We're simps as fuck because we understand that if we don't give women what they want, they will take away what we want, which is sex. But if you stop wanting sex and you realize that there's more important things than that, you realize that all this type of shit, we don't have to put up with it. You know what I mean? We put our foot down. We say these are our boundaries. If you don't fuck with it, then whatever. Get out of my life. I don't need you here. Type shit. You know what I mean? And I think, again, going back to the Andrew Tate thing, this is the type of stuff that Andrew Tate speaks on that really resonates with young men, especially because at the end of the day, we want, you know, we're the ones who are going to be providing, protecting, all this type of shit. The biggest burden is placed on our shoulders, is to give our lives for our women, is to give our lives for our family. The biggest burden is placed on our shoulders. We want, or, in order to get that, in order to receive that burden, receive that level of of service from men, there's got to be some level of reciprocation from women where they give men the authority for that. If you want men to be in a position of power, in a position of leadership, you want a man who's a leader, you got to give him the role of being a leader. You know what I mean? It's like a lot of these questions that we ask sometimes. It's like, okay, who should make the decision then? If there's a big decision to be made in the home, who's going to make it? Is it the woman or the man? Who's going to have the final say? It's like, oh, it's 50-50 or the both of us or whatever the case. It's like, okay, what if you really disagree? It's like you can't come up with a final answer. You agree, you think one thing, he thinks another thing. You guys are really stuck in your ways. Who's gonna make the final decision? It's like, I don't know. Whoever. I don't know. It's like that'll be the end of the fucking relationship. That's why most relationships end, because there's no real clear. This is the person who's gonna make those decisions. It's just, just hope that it works out. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. That's my perspective on that shit.
If I could say something, just to make it a little more politically correct, because I felt from the future, any women that had listened to this, just to make it a little more politically correct, what men want isn't just sex. It's not just that. What we want is a good, wholesome, traditional woman, like he said.
No,
We
that's
want
but
the
that's what I'm
love.
that's
We
what I'm
want the
saying is like,
femininity.
but that's what I'm saying is like that's what men need. And what we want has been changed because women have decided that they're going to stop being these feminine women. They're going to stop, being traditional. They're going to move on into being more like men. And I think that is the reason why men have been like, okay, well, we can't really, we can't really desire what we used to desire. So instead, I'm just going to want sex. That's all I want right now. And then now we've realized that that's not even fulfilling either. We want sex. Women take away sex from us. We act like little bitches because we want that sex. We realize that we want some more. We want that traditional submissive woman who's going to be, supporting us, making our lives easier so that we can so that we can provide for the family and whatnot. These are the things that men truly want. You know what I mean? And we're starting, slowly but surely, men, especially young men, are starting to kind of get this back. They're starting to get this idea back. We're starting to get back into the rhythm of understanding the true traditional roles and what we should want in society. But anyways, Maddie, I'm sorry. I just wanted to clarify that. Go ahead, keep going.
No, 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 no. Of course, no, no, no. That's all I wanted to say on that.
All right. I mean, like I said, that's just what it is for me. You know what I mean? It's like it just kind of sucks the way we've kind of gone down as a society where you know even in the Christian community, men are fucking simps to their wives, bro. It's just it's bad. It's tough to see. But if you guys have any further comments, just say it now, I suppose. Because if not, we'll move on to the last thing we got for today before we wrap up.
I, I do want to say a few things because I've been listening. We keep jumping little topics. I keep forgetting things, and I'm trying to grab them all back.
Listen, no, look,
Um,
before you start, just one last thing. If anybody here, um, I know this is pretty late to say this because we're already like almost 2 hours into the show. If you guys have anything to say, you guys want to interject, don't be afraid. Feel free to interrupt. You know what I mean? Because I know thoughts can like escape your mind and stuff. Just feel free to just interrupt and interject and say what you think. But go ahead, go ahead.
yeah, I'm trying to remember everything that you said, everything that Maddie said, because Maddie did speak a lot on it for the most part. So I'm trying to regroup everything because I did have little things I want to say, and I kind of forgot some of them.
Yeah,
But
feel free to interrupt. Feel free.
the fact that it's true, I feel like society nowadays, the way relationships used to be back then, they're no longer the same, and that is the most sad, depressing part because it's just I don't know. I feel like we watched our parents, and we all expected that that's the type of love that we were going to get. That's the type of love that we're all going to be able to have. But it's like we're looking at society now, and you're just like, do you even want to date? Do you even want to attempt that? Because it's like the majority of people don't respect anybody. This goes men and women. Um, for women, I'm not gonna lie to you. I am disappointed in the way. This is why I don't have a lot of female friends because the way that the women nowadays think is disappointing. I feel like women nowadays expect way too much out of men. And it's like, yes, we each have our roles, but it's just, I feel like with women, the more you give them, the more they want. And they're never content. And then it's like they just milk you dry. And then you're just kind of left there like, okay, so what the fuck else do you want from me? And this is the part where I'm like, maybe that's why a lot of them do turn into fuck boys. Maybe a lot of them just change. They're like, fuck this. I'm not doing this type of relationship crap because they're all going to be like this. And it's why I hate when women say, where can I find a good one? I'm like, because a lot of times you kind of corrupt how most of the men are. A lot of times there are good ones, and those good ones happen to turn into, crap. A lot of women nowadays are gold diggers. If you don't got money on you, you don't got the fanciest car of the year, you don't look like money, they don't want nothing to do with you. And that is, as a woman, one of the most embarrassing things that I have to say. It's just women nowadays, they go based off materialistic shit. You got money, you got the watch, you got the shoes of the year, you got the car of the year, you got a huge pad. Oh my God, I'm set. But not everything that shines is basically gold. And they're crazy looking for gold, and they'll settle for anything that shines like it, but it's not. Women nowadays are very just how do you say the word? Like interested, like they're just based off on what you have. So they'll drop a guy that probably makes minimum wage, has his regular car, he's content with the things that he has in life right now. He's not freaking rich. He doesn't, buy brand shit. He's just regular. But he's a great guy. Women will easily drop that and go for something that looks great but is absolute trash. If it's
Yeah,
not with dollar signs, they don't want nothing to do with it. And that is the most disgusting thing that is going on right now because back in those days, money wasn't a freaking thing. Now, let's go way back before the dollar bill even came out. Like that wasn't a thing. They went based off chivalry, how much of a gentleman you were. If you were a family man or not. Like, what could you do for the family? Nowadays, it's like if you don't have money, you don't got the whip, you don't have all this shit. If you don't like one of those um, what should I call it? Those entertainers on screen or whatever it is. Women don't want it. They
yeah.
will
I
easily
think
drop
I
something
think
that's
just
I
just
guess
to
below
interrupt,
average for them.
real quick, just to kind of say one little thing. I think another aspect of it is also the like I think women will also leave you and get turned off. I suppose nowadays modern women would do that if you don't adhere to what they say. You know, if you provide that pushback and you say, you know what, no, like, honey, I want to go out with my girlfriends tonight. I'm gonna be back like at 1 in the morning or whatever because we're gonna go to the bar and like we're gonna have a girls' night out. And you as a man, you're like, no, you can't, no, you can't do that. Like, nah, like you're gonna stay home. I don't feel comfortable with you going out. I think it's unsafe. I think it's too dark and too night for that, too late for that. A man who puts his foot down that way and who kind of tells his woman, you know, I suppose for lack of a better phrase, what to do, and like kind of puts those boundaries. I think women get turned off by that too, and I think modern women lose very good, very virtuous men because of their own need for independence, for their own need um, for I suppose freedom or whatever the case may be. I think that's the difference between men and women as well. A man will sacrifice his body, himself, his mind for his family, and I think a woman a lot of the time would prioritize her own mental health before her family's. I think the best mothers you hear about, the best women you hear about, are the women who don't do that, are the women who prioritize their children, their husband. Those women are the ones that you hear about as being the best mothers. Um, and likewise are the dads who break their body, their back, their legs, all that type of shit to provide for the family. The ones who take 2 jobs, 3 jobs just to be able to put food on the table, and who don't think about themselves but think about their family. Those are the most virtuous, and I think today's society, we've just been focusing too much on our own, needs, what we want, what we desire, and we've forgotten what's best for society, what's best for our house, what's best for our family. But anyways, just wanted to kind of say that as well, just to add that. But go ahead, Jenny, keep going.
I do feel okay. I agree with a lot of the things you said. Yes. I guess when it comes to some of the things that they want you to submit to, I'm gonna be 100%. There are some things that men want you to submit to that sometimes are a little bit ridiculous. Like it's some things are crazy. There's some that I'm like, okay, it's not that big of a deal. That could easily be done. Like, it's fine. Um, if it's for your safety wise or something like that, of course, But it's something as well that I've noticed is, and I'm someone who I hate how women get, spoken about. But it's like I'm not gonna lie, man. Women are not innocent at all. They're not innocent whatsoever. Um, I'm disappointed as how far women have come nowadays, and it's sad. And then also, it's just like I feel like men are pretty underappreciated. Like at least the good ones, not the bad ones. Fuck the bad ones, but at least the good ones. I feel like those are extremely underappreciated, and I feel like it's not fair to them because they're kind of suffering the consequences from basically the bad ones. They're suffering, they're just kind of sitting in the shadows, hoping that something, happens to fall, while all the other ones are just out there kind of like, it's like picking fucking fruit in a what's the freaking thing? Like in a fucking farm or something like that. Like you're able to pick whatever it is you want, and you got the good one struggling to kind of even get out there because you don't know what the hell is even gonna fall in front of you. If a woman goes, "You got money?" No, okay, next. Like that's fucked up. To me, that's fucked up. I feel like I said, women keep asking too much of men and kind of forget to sometimes appreciate them. And that comes because, for example, for my dad, in the house, everything was pretty equal, but my dad was highly always appreciated because my dad did everything in the house. My dad would also cook, clean, you know, take care of us, do everything with us. It's just both of my parents were mom and dad at the same time. So it's like I always tend to appreciate men a lot because my dad was the biggest, you know, male figure of my entire life and will always and forever be. So it's like I feel like nowadays a lot of men just really are not appreciated. And it's kind of why it leads to sometimes why they act the way they act. And I don't blame them, to be honest with you. I really don't blame them. And it makes me want to say like I'm sorry on the behalf of like the shit ass women out there that a lot of these men feel that way because it's not fair. There are some good men out there, and I really do wish that those would be appreciated compared to the crap that gets appreciated nowadays. And it's just it's sad. It's sad to see everything has come down to the way everything has just kind of been divided. You know, it's men just wanting, and women, it's, interest if you got money or not. And I don't know. It's kind of gross. That's why it's like sometimes it's just kind of better to stay alone than to even go out there. Now, I do hope that what you said, how like men are slowly starting to gain that back. I really freaking hope so, because as generations go along, I sometimes fear for how, it's going to be in the future for everyone. I really do hope that somehow it could be restored. That goes for both male and female. I feel like women forget how to act like ladies, and some men forget how to be gentlemen. And and then they both sit there expecting a lot more. It's like, why would you expect so much when you're acting like a hoe and you're acting like a fuckboy? Yet
You're
you
giving
want
the bare
a woman
minimum.
who's gonna be a housewife and treat you everything. Like you want a man who wants to give you everything and this and that. But it's like, what are both providing if you're gonna be at that same level?
Yeah,
If
and
you both are trash,
I
what
think
can you both provide?
I think that's the thing that kind of goes to show men's like I'm not gonna say how nice we are, but how benevolent we are, how how truly fair and good we are as men. That if we really wanted to, and I think we see it today as well in some societies and on the planet. If we really wanted to, women would not be having this much freedom like they do today. You know what I mean? If we really, said, like I think young men are going back to this for the most part, where they're saying, you know what, I'm gonna stick true to my beliefs, I'm gonna stick true to my virtues, my values, and I'm gonna stay true to my boundaries. I'm gonna make sure I get women, or the woman that I choose is gonna be a virtuous woman, and be more critical on that type of stuff. If men really wanted to, women, shit, we'll be back to the times when women wouldn't be able to vote, women wouldn't be able to own, you know, um, property on their own and whatnot, and those type of things, or shit. Like I said, there are some societies even today that do things like that. In like the Middle Eastern countries where women, some of them can't even drive, shit like that. You know what I mean? Men are very benevolent, and I think we as men need to start being more strict on women, and understanding that women aren't going to change unless we, to a certain degree, uh, kind of enact that, I suppose. uh, I don't know, I don't even know how to explain it, to be honest. It's like sex work is a really big thing that has kind of just destroyed society today, had destroyed men's brains, have destroyed women and their natural roles and their expectations for men and stuff like that. It's just, implementing different things. At the end of the day, men are the ones who it needs to start with, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Women are not going to do it for the most part, because that's not how women are. You know what I mean? Women are followers. Sorry to say, but they're followers, and we need to be the ones to guide them. But that's just me. Anybody have anything to say about that?
Yeah, definitely not. There's some women that can be leaders, so calm your shit. Not every woman has to be a follower, but
I think women are
I
naturally
feel like
followers.
at this point, everyone's at a loss.
You said what?
I feel like nowadays everybody is at loss. I feel like both sexes are at a complete loss.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would say definitely that's to a certain degree true. But I would say women are definitely, generally speaking, more followers than men are, and I think men are the ones who are going to have to kind of implement these ideas, who are going to have to push this societal change forward. More stigma on things like sex work, more stigma on things like women being out in the workforce, having kids at the age of 32 versus having kids when they're younger. Women getting married when they're 32, women getting divorced for reasons like, oh, I'm just not really happy anymore, or I fell out of love, and like things like this, where we should be enforcing more of a social stigma on these type of things and make it unpopular. I think it starts with men. I think women aren't going to do it. I think women are creatures of influence. They are very influenced by their surroundings. They're very influenced by what's popular today. For the most part, I would say, oh, like, a woman would be like, oh, look what's trending on TikTok. Like, oh, this is trending on TikTok. women are followers. I think it was a meme that I saw today actually where it was like these guys who were like, it was showing this group of dudes, and then they start putting pineapples on their heads and stuff like that, taking videos, posting them on social media, laughing about it, and then a couple women start coming in, they start doing the same thing, imitating men, and then the guys are just like, you know what, this shit's not even funny anymore, and they just leave. I feel like that's a lot of today's like trends and shit like that, started by men. Women try to put a spin on it. You know what I mean? Try to continue that shit, and then it's just not funny anymore. And men are just like, you know what? We're not even gonna pay attention to that shit no more. I don't know. I just think women are like it's gonna start with men. You know what I mean? And I think you know we're gonna have to implement those type of social changes, and women will follow. Um, I mean, I think the type of women who won't follow the modern chicks and all that stuff, they're a dying breed. Because at the end of the day, they're not fucking reproducing. They're damn genetic dead ends. So, as long as we as long as we push forward these societal changes and stuff like that, we'll get to where we want to be. But yeah, it's gonna take a little bit though. It's gonna take a little while. But yeah, that's what I have to say about it. Anybody have any final thoughts on that before we wrap up?
No, buddy. I agree with what you're saying, bro.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. Jen, you have any final thoughts before we wrap up?
I think women need to do better in some cases. Because thing is, like, I don't try to side with anybody, but I do have a lot more male friends, and hang out with more guys because I can't fuck around with females. I can't. They just piss me off with this whole mentality that they have. But I feel like women need to do better. Appreciate men a little bit more. Same way I feel like men should appreciate some of the women too, because I feel like we're both kind of at an impasse. How you know a lot of men will see women as, oh, they're all automatic gold diggers. Not all of us are. Same way not all men are freaking fuckboys and everything like that. They are still good batches within both. But definitely can say that, from the women's side, do a little bit better when it comes to appreciating whether it's guy friends, whether it's any male figure that you're around. Just learn to appreciate it more. Because I feel like men do a lot and they just keep asking for more and it's kind of left unnoticed, and it's kind of why sometimes you guys can get mad and act the way you guys act, and I don't blame you guys. So it's like learn to appreciate the men that are in your lives, whether it's friend, family, whatever the case is, even your significant other. um and you'll see how much it brightens up their day when you appreciate even the smallest crap that they do, because it definitely does mean a lot to them since they're used to not being appreciated. It means a lot.
All right, that's beautiful. Listen, I'm gonna give some final words, like some final gems to women. To like, if there's any woman listening right now, and you got a man at home, or maybe you're gonna have one in the future, this is this is some good advice coming from a man. All right, the best thing you can do for your man is shut the
Oh
fuck
man,
up and
this is going
listen.
bad.
Shut the fuck up
Oh,
and listen. Shut your
oh,
damn fucking mouth,
Mm.
okay? Shut your pretty mouth. Listen to what your man has to say. Make his life easier, not harder. All right. Don't fucking nag him about shit that doesn't matter. All right. Because I'll tell you one thing, he deals with that shit at work too much. All right. Again, just be submissive, truly submissive, not conditional submission. None of that bullshit. Be truly submissive. Um, take care of him and his needs before he even realizes he has those needs. And just overall, be women who he be the woman who he can go to and really feel like he can just be at peace, be his peace. All right. But I said that a little bit derogatory at the beginning. That's fine. I mean, I
that's
hope
fine, but we're gonna say
I
it
hope people
differently,
kind
buddy.
of yeah, I hope people kind of get the idea of that though. What I'm trying to say. Uh, just be his peace. You know what I mean? Be his peace. Listen to what he's got to say. Think of him as the leader of your family because that's what he is, and you know, give him the authority that a leader should have. Uh, yeah, Don't question him in every fucking thing that he does or everything that he decides. Just along those lines. But yeah, anybody have any comments or anything they want to say about anything we talked about today before we wrap up, or you guys are good?
I believe I'm good, bro. I believe I spoke my piece.
Jenny, you got anything you want to say before we wrap up, or are you good too?
To the women out there, for the beginning part of the crap that Matt said, if you have yourself at home, Matt yourself, just peg him and show him who's boss.
Okay. If your man will let you peg him, he's your woman. He's not your fucking man. Okay, so yeah, he is. That's a fucking gay
Peg
man.
him and show him who's boss, ladies. Just do it.
Oh my gosh, what is this degeneracy? All right. Anyways, thank you guys so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed the show. We hope it was a good one. I thought it was a good one. I thought we had a good conversations. We had a good back and forth. It was a good show. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to Jenny for being a guest on the show again. We appreciate it very much. You did a phenomenal job again. And again, you're welcome on whenever as well. Yeah, we appreciate you coming on.
Thank you guys honestly so much for having me again. I absolutely loved this whole session. It was great. I love the topics, you know. And I guess I could say I learned a few things from how you guys are feeling, like how men think nowadays. And it's definitely an insight. And I really appreciate it for, giving me this opportunity to be here again. Honestly, loved it.
The pleasure is all ours. I'm sure I can speak for Maddie as well. You're a very good guest, and every episode the last episode you were on and this episode as well, two very good episodes, very entertaining in our opinion. I mean, like I said, I think I can speak for Maddie when I say that. Um,
Yes.
but yeah, it was a good episode. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please make sure to like,
Oh,
make
didn't
sure.
you say you had a comment you were going to read?
Oh shit, bro! See, bro, look at Jenny, bro.
I remembered.
Jenny's doing this stuff better than I do, bro. Let me see if I can find the comment. I think it was on this. Let me check it real quick. Okay, yeah, it's right here. So, a comment that comes from uh, Maz underscore Ixu 4662. Remember, therapy is not someone arrogant telling you what's wrong with you or how you should live your life. Therapy is you talking to you about your thoughts to figure out how you want to live your life. So does anybody have any thoughts they want to give, or because I think I'm gonna say a few things about that real quick, and then we'll wrap up right after.
Mm.
I'd love to hear your opinion, buddy.
All right, Jenny, do you have anything you want to say, or do you want me to I'll just spout my nonsense real quick, and then we done here.
Spit it,
You can
boy.
go first. Go first.
All I would say is I'm not saying that therapy is someone who's arrogant telling you what to do. But what I'm saying is I don't think that therapy is a very effective tool to get over your sadness or whatever's causing you to be mentally bad in some way. I think therapy is more effective at kind of keeping you in that sadness, considering the fact that they get paid for you continuing to come back for more sessions and stuff like that. You would expect something like that to kind of cure you of that sadness or cure you of that trauma, whatever the case. I think there are more effective ways to get over that type of stuff. And I don't think therapy is you talking to yourself about your own thoughts to figure out how you want to live your life. If it was about you, there wouldn't be another person right over there telling you or giving you advice and things of this nature, as they do. Therapy, a lot of the time as well, is very exploitative, giving you, kind of, uh, you know, giving you a person's real opinion. I mean, at the end of the day, it's another person who's going to be right around there. Either they're going to psychoanalyze you with different methods that they learned from school, which is coming from a fucking textbook, or they're going to give you their own personal opinions based off of their own biased point of view, which neither is good. I think the way you kind of go through things, understand things, be somebody who's really entrenched, really put yourself in the Christian space, learn about Christianity, read the Bible, read Jesus' teachings, and you'll understand. You'll have the tools you need in order to get through the bad stuff that happens to you in life, or the sadness that hits you, or the trauma that you may encounter. And I think there's better ways to go through that than going to therapy. But yeah, that's my position. But Jenny, you have something I want to say, or?
Um, I myself have gone through therapy as a teenager growing up and everything like that. And from to be honest, I feel like for me it didn't really help. I've even been through a few of them just to see and test them out. For me, it just didn't work out. I feel like a lot of them just kind of do it for the money, and sometimes it's kind of fucked up because I feel like it's lost its meaning for what they're really supposed to be there for. Feel like they're just like, okay, it's another person, another session, another, check that goes into my pocket. And it's like there's sometimes they use mental health as just a way for them to, get money, which at the same time that's how it's supposed to be, but I don't feel like sometimes they necessarily help. That's why I per se don't really like therapy. I feel like therapy for me is mostly talking to my friends or talking to, someone that I can trust versus talking to a stranger who, you know, probably just asks you the same questions every single time you show up just because, that's how they get paid. And it's a little messed up. Not all therapies are the same. There's some therapists that are really good, but it's not the same as it's supposed to be.
Well, that's actually a really interesting take. I didn't think you were gonna have that take, to be honest. Surprising, surprising. Learn something new every day. Anyways,
Why?
I don't know. You're just kind of not to not to be offensive or anything, but you're like very progressive, and I don't. It's usually the progressive people who are more into the whole therapy thing. So, um, but um, but yeah, it was a surprising take. Very based take there. Interestingly enough, Jenny Jenny has some potential after all. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, um, anyways, so
Oh, what's that supposed to mean?
no, just jokes, just jokes. Anyways, thank you guys again so much for watching. We appreciate everybody who tuned in, everybody who invested their time to listen to the show and everything like that. We hope you enjoyed it. Thank you to Jenny again for coming on. She was a phenomenal guest. We hope to have her back in a future episode. Disclaimer: the views expressed by the individual hosts or the guests do not necessarily reflect the views of the show itself. We hope you kind of got that idea from what we were talking about. But other than that, we have clips. Make sure to, if you guys can't catch the full shows, make sure to catch the clips. We have clips accounts, Instagram, TikTok, and we post here on YouTube some shorts as well. If you guys can't catch the full shows, we post the best bits on those accounts, and we post the clips there. If you want to be a guest on the show, just like Jenny is today, and you want to kind of speak on your opinions, if you disagree with us about certain topics, or you just want to kind of talk about something interesting that's going on in your life, or something that you find to be interesting or cool, just send us a DM on Instagram, and we would love to have you on. We'll schedule that with you and get all the information set up. Yeah, make sure to like, comment. We love the comments. Any opinions you guys have, any sort of comments or whatever the case, we will read them in the next episode, just like we did with this one. I promise I won't forget the next time. But thank goodness Jenny was here to remind me this time around. Comment, follow on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, subscribe on YouTube. We post every Wednesdays and Fridays. Be aware of that. Thank you so much again for watching. We hope everybody has a phenomenal night. God bless. Guys, say goodbye. Goodbye, guys. Have a good night.
Have a great night, everybody.
To George, respectfully, you little bitch for not being here. Other than that, good night, everybody. Have a good night.
I second that, George, you little bitch.
I third that wholeheartedly.